Hello பசங்களா, welcome all of you to We Need Tamil-Nadu. எப்படி இருக்கீங்க? நல்லா இருக்கீங்களா? So இன்னைக்கு வந்து நம்ம chemical coordination and integration chapter one shotல we are going to do, and in the topic வந்து நம்ம NCERT line by line use பண்ணி தான் we are going to decode the entire chapter. இந்த chapter majority studentsக்கு வந்து கொஞ்சம் difficult-ஆ தான் இருக்கும் because அவருக்கு வந்து இந்த எல்லாமே to memorize கொஞ்சம் கஷ்டமா தான் இருக்கும். I understand, but students இந்த chapter நம்ம multiple revision பண்ணினா this chapter is going to be a super duper chapter. So அதனால நம்ம வந்து multiple times revision பண்ணணும். Okay, I'll also help you with the revision, don't worry about it. So let's directly get into the video. Are you all ready? I want all of you to mark your attendance. Quickly smash the like button and let me know if everything is audible, visible, clear, crystal clear, and you have the energy to attend the whole class. Okay, nama vandu short up panalam, so you can watch it at your own pace as well. Okay, yes, one second students. Yes, okay. Yes, let's start. Okay, chemical coordination and integration. So basically nama body la students basically two systems are there, no? Neural control and then your endocrine. So in the rendu system mein it has to work in hand for us to be sending anything or getting the connectivity to our body. So adanala da in the word chemical coordination and integration, it is very important for these two systems to coordinate, and especially in the chemical coordination chapter la you are going to study mainly about your endocrine glands. Okay, endocrine glands. நமக்கு வந்து endocrine glands இருக்கு, exocrine glands இருக்கு, and heterocrine glands இருக்கு. But ஆனா இந்த chapterல நம்ம main focus வந்து endocrine gland தான். Okay வா? So let's wear glasses because stylisher we should wear glasses. Okay. So yes, let's directly get into NCERT. So is this visible clearly? Okay, கொஞ்சம் brightness கம்மி பண்ற students. So you people can happily watch the lecture. Yes, I think this is good. Okay. Okay, let's learn and understand. Okay, you have already learned. Have you? No, don't know, ma'am. You have already learned that neural system provides a point-to-point rapid coordination. Okay, what do neural system give us? Rapid coordination. Who gives it to us? Neural system. So, students, this is how you should underline NCERT. I want all of you to focus on how I underline the NCERT. I never underline the whole words. I only underline the main words. Adu madri da nimma NCERT, like in your NCERT also, you should highlight. Okay, highlighter use panni correct and the important words mattum da highlight pannam. Entire NCERT shouldn't look like one coloring book. Okay, and then you don't know which is important, which is not important. Now students, look here, the neural coordination is fast. Okay, neural coordination when the students fast irukum, but ana short lived irukum. Okay, as the nerve fibers do not innervate all cells of the body and the cellular functions need to be continuously regulated. A special kind of coordination and integration has to be provided. This function is carried out by whom? It is carried out by the hormones. The neural system and the endocrine system jointly coordinates and regulate the physiological functions in the body. So basically in the paragraph la vanda namakku important ana words mattum we are going to write it here. Okay, so they are saying students nama neural, so with NCERT only I'll write my GM express as well. Okay, neural system vanda, okay, neural system vanda it is very fast, correct? Impulse on the very fast travel panum, but ana adu vandu short lived because it cannot go for a longer time. Idu vandu short lived irukum. So in the help, the neural system is already doing this job. Okay, but the problem is students, it cannot reach all the body parts. Okay, cannot reach all the cells especially. Okay, cannot reach all the cells. So adanale we will need another person who is slow, who is long lived, adu madri. Okay, so the second person who is going to help us is going to be our endocrine system. Okay, endocrine system. Endocrine system. Endocrine system வந்து என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க students, இது வந்து slow-ஆ தான் இருக்கும். Okay, this is going to be slow because this has to travel through the blood, reach the target organ, but ana it can reach all organs and cells. Okay, எல்லாமே ரீச் பண்ண கேப்பபிலிட்டிஸ் இருக்கு. ஓகேவா, இந்த பேராகிராஃப்ல இவ்வளோதான் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். ஸோ மேக் அ நோட் ஆஃப் திஸ். திஸ் இஸ் ஹவ் யுவர் NCERT ஆல்சோ ஷுட் லுக் லைக். NCERT இஸ் there side by side, you should write notes and go, so it becomes very very easy. ஓகேவா, நெக்ஸ்ட் பேராகிராஃப் பார்க்கலாம் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ். ஓகே, எஸ், ஓகே, are you all excited? Marking your attendance. Okay, நீங்க வந்து attendance mark பண்ணாம சும்மா you will attend the class and then tell tata bye bye and go off. Okay, attendance வந்து comment section ல போடணும். I am present ma'am, your name and you should put present. Gopika present ma'am. Okay, அது மாதிரி you should put attendance and go. Otherwise how will I know? School ல மட்டும் தான் attendance you will give, here you won't give attendance. I'll feel bad, no? I'm helping you more, no? More than your school teachers, I'm helping you. Every time I'm there with you. Okay, so அதனால I want all of you to put attendance. Okay, now endocrine gland students, இது வந்து lax ducts. Ma'am, இது we already know ma'am, because நீங்க வந்து animal tissue ல இது already you have made us understand. So endocrine glands lack ducts and hence they are called as ductless glands. Okay, duct இல்லாத gland. Okay, duct இல்லாம இருக்கிற glandக்கு தான் நம்ம ductless gland we will call. Their secretions are called as hormones. Secretions வந்து what do we call? Hormones. The classical definition, okay? Classical definition of hormone is what, students? Hormones are chemical product by the endocrine gland and released where? Because they do not have ducts. Last time I told you they are released into the blood. Okay, example students, from the sump. Okay, imagine there's a well. Okay, from the well, imagine one person has a pipeline. Okay, here only we will draw it. Imagine this is the well. Okay, this is the well. In the well, let's say one person has pipe connection to their home. Okay, they have pipe connection to their home. This will become a duct gland because there are ducts. Ducts are like tubular structures which will help the reaching of the chemicals. Okay, but Anna, just imagine in the this house people have to carry the water. Okay, they have to manually, or like let's say someone is coming, they have to carry the water and bring it all the way to the home. And who is going to be this carrier? This carrier is going to be blood. Okay, this carrier is going to be blood. So this means what? There's no pipe system. So adanala we are using a middleman to reach the reach water to our home. So adamadrida, here we do not have ducts. So same system only, students, in the endocrine gland as well. We are going to add the hormones into the blood, and blood will be like, okay, I am going with the hormones, another one it will go and give it to the target organs. Okay, wow. So it is released into the blood and transported to distantly located target organ. Okay, it will be going to the target organ. Has current scientific definition. So proper ana or definition pathena enna irukum? Hormones are non-nutrient chemicals which act as intercellular messengers and are produced in trace amount. You might be thinking, no ma'am, I can take 1 ml of hormones, but Anna, students, if you have to even take growth hormone, okay, you have to take it from lots of people because hormone வந்து it is produced in a very less quantity. So அதனால நம்ம வந்து blood பார்க்கும்போது இல்லைன்னா secretions பார்க்கும்போது அது மாதிரி கிடையாது. Hormones வந்து it is made in a very less quantity. So you cannot extract anything telling that I want 1 ml of growth hormone, I want 1 ml of thyroid hormone. We cannot do that. Okay, we cannot do that. We have to do, in case when you are doing tests also, we have to amplify it to know how much hormones are there. Hormones are produced in very low quantity, very trace amount, but ana effect vande it is very high. Okay, even a small increase will lead to over secretion. A small, even the quantity becomes a little less, hyposecretion. Okay, va students, is this understood, all of you? Okay, yes, okay. So here students, important, okay, let's finish the whole thing. The new definition covers a number of new molecules in addition to the hormones secreted by organized endocrine glands. Invertebrates possesses a very simple endocrine system. Who? Invertebrates. Okay, invertebrates have a very simple endocrine system with only few hormones, whereas a large number of chemicals act as hormone and provide coordination in vertebrates. The human endocrine system is described as. Okay, so we are going to study it. So students, here what do we know about hormones? You have to know this: hormones are actually chemical messengers. Okay, hormones are actually chemical. This is the best way to study this chapter. Okay, side by side NCERT plus notes. Okay, short notes. Hormones வந்து என்ன students? Chemical messengers. Okay, the color வந்து I don't like. Okay, we will change the color. இது ஒரு color, இன்னொரு color change பண்ணலாம். என்ன color? Blue. Okay. Okay, so hormones are chemical messengers. They are non-nutrient. Okay, we will write all of this in one color. Okay, they are chemical messengers. Okay, chemical messengers. They are non-nutrient Okay, they are non-nutrient. Already it is there, no, it is non-nutrient and it is intercellular messengers. We have told chemical messengers. Okay, or else you can also write it as intercellular messengers. There is no problem in that. So far good? Quickly put thumbs up in the chat box so I know that all of you are listening. Okay, intercellular messengers, non-nutrient intercellular messengers, and they are produced in what amount, students? They are produced in nanograms, that is very trace amounts they are produced. Okay, trace amounts they are produced, that too in nanograms. Nanograms. Okay, wow. Chemical messenger, non-nutrient, intercellular messenger, trace amount, nanograms, they are produced. I hope this is clear. Okay, and you might be thinking, ma'am, எனக்கு வந்து hormones, can I take it in my diet? அது வந்து dietல கிடையாது students, it has to be formed by the body, so it cannot be taken in your diet. Not in your diet. நம்ம வந்து proteins, carbohydrates, fats, that way we cannot take your hormones. Hormones வந்து it has to be produced by the target organs. It will go to the target specific places also. நமக்கு வந்து you cannot eat it in your diet. Okay, wow. Is this clear to all of you? Okay, understood. Okay, now we are going to understand the proper endocrine glands. Okay, which are the endocrine glands, which are helping us in what and all that we are going to understand. I hope till here it was very baby simple, no? Yes, ma'am, it was super simple, right? Okay, now we are going to start with the endocrine glands. Okay, one second, students. So I'll write it after that. Okay, the human endocrine gland and hormones producing the endocrine glands and hormones producing diffuse tissues, cells located in different parts of our body constitute the endocrine system. Nama endocrine system la namakku vanda there is pituitary, pineal, thyroid, adrenal, pancreas, parathyroid, thymus and gonads. Okay, testes in males and ovary in females. Ellame endocrine gland da. Okay, our organized endocrine bodies in our body. In addition to these, some other organs like gastrointestinal tract, okay, liver, kidney, heart also produces hormones. Okay, a brief account of the structure and function of all major endocrine glands and a hypothalamus of the body is given below. So students, which are the endocrine glands? Basically you have to start with the first fellow who is like a principal of principal, we say, no, like master of master, hypothalamus. Okay, hypothalamus. After hypothalamus, whom do we have, ma'am? We have pituitary gland, ma'am. Okay, pituitary gland. This was actually previously called the master gland, but hypothalamus is the one that controls the pituitary. So it does not make sense to call it a master anymore, right? If I am controlling you, you are not a master in anything. You are just a normal person. Adu madri da. So students, pituitary kapparam pineal. So we go in order. Okay, pineal. Adukapram you go to your throat region. So anga vandu thyroid irukum. Right behind the thyroid only you will have your parathyroid. Okay, parathyroid. Okay, then we go down a little down, you will be able to see your pancreas. Actually pancreas vanda konju different ana gland because idu vanda heterocrine gland. Okay, we will put it in box. Okay, pancreas kapam parathyroid you wrote, then you have to go to adrenal. Okay, just above the kidney, right, just above the kidney, and then we have the gonads, that is your testis and your ovary. So testis and ovary also students, they are going to release the hormones, no, nama sex hormones release pandranga with doing oogenesis, spermatogenesis, and I hope all of you have watched the reproduction unit one shot live. Go to the live session on the channel, reproduction unit one shot, we have done it in 5 or 50 minutes. 3 chapters also in detail we have completed, and you can go and see the comments. Comments are all so beautiful. These are the students who stayed in my live throughout. Okay, throughout. So it's a very, very efficient live. Okay, wow. Okay, now students, see, I have written pancreas in yellow color. Why? Because this is a heterocrine gland. Okay, this also I taught you in animal tissues. Okay, heterocrine gland. Enna ma'am in the heterocrine gland? Students, in the word வந்து heterocrine இல்லைனா mixed gland. Heterocrine இல்லைனா what? Mixed gland. Mixed gland means this has both the activities of endocrine and exocrine. So exocrine na they will be secreting some secretions, and endocrine na they will be secreting hormones. So islets of Langerhans, you know, alpha, beta, delta, it is going to release insulin, glucagon, somatostatin. So adu madri hormonal function also is there. At the same time also there is acinar cells which are also adding some secretions, right? So adanal idu vandu heterocrine gland illana mixed gland na கூப்பிடுவாங்க. Okay va students? Okay. Yes. Now see, look at the locations here, all of you. Okay, look here, you have the hypothalamus, which is the master of master glands. Adu vanda nama head region la irukum illa. Adukapram students, this pineal gland, and then you have pituitary gland, everything located in the brain. I told you pituitary is present in the sella turcica of your sphenoid bone. That is why your animal tissues, locomotion, every chapter is important because ella chapter may connected to each other. Okay, all brothers sisters. Adukapram students, thyroid, adukku pinnadiye parathyroid. Then you have thymus, which is near, almost near the heart region. Okay, mediastinum. And then we have pancreas, then we have adrenal above the kidney, then we have testis in male and ovary in female. This is all the endocrine glands. Okay, easy done, endocrine glands. Okay, now we have to start with the master of master gland. Okay, nama hypothalamus. Hypothalamus la vandu see, as you know, the hypothalamus is present at the basal part. Okay, hypothalamus is at the basal part of the diencephalon. So students, number 4 brain la vanda we have partitions, no, cerebral hemispheres, diencephalon. So it is present at the basal part of the diencephalon, or we can also say floor of the diencephalon. Okay, we can also say floor of the diencephalon. So here you write it just next to the NCERT only, you can write this notes. I'm telling you, for this chapter, stick to NCERT. You don't need any additional notes. Okay, before also I've taught it with NCERT only. You can use NCERT only to learn it. So hypothalamus, students, it is at the floor of the diencephalon, or we can say basal part. Okay, basal part of diencephalon. This is the part of the forebrain. Okay, part of the forebrain. Okay, part of the forebrain. Now students, I can call this hypothalamus as the master of master gland. Master of master gland. Okay, wow. Master of master gland. Okay, now forebrain, and it regulates a wide spectrum of body function. It contains several groups of several groups of neurosecretory cells called as nuclei, which produces hormones. Okay, what do they have, students? They have a set of cells which are called as your neurosecretory cells. Okay, now on the draw pannumbodhu you can draw it something like this. Okay, not like this. Okay, like this, something like this, you can draw the neurosecretory cells. In the neurosecretory cells have the ability to release the hormones. Okay, see here, produce the hormones. Neurosecretory cells. In the cells இன்னொரு பேர் இருக்கு, என்ன இருக்கு students? Or ma'am, it's called as nuclei. Okay, it's called as nuclei. So neurosecretory cells or nuclei, in the neurosecretory cells or nuclei என்ன function பண்றாங்க? They are going to produce the hormones. Produce hormones, and there are several groups are present, students. Okay, several groups are present. So in the paragraph la idhu da important, so adanala please make note. Now I'll tell you more about it. Okay, yeah. Okay, now look here. These hormones regulate the synthesis and secretion of the pituitary gland. So that is why I'm telling it master of master gland, because it is even able to control the master gland. So imagine I am master, but I'm controlling another master. So I am becoming grandmaster. So I can become grandmaster, okay? Not grandmother, grandmaster, okay? However, the hormones produced by hypothalamus are of two types, okay? So one the students releasing hormone which will stimulate, okay? First one the releasing hormone automatically enna pandranga stimulate pandranga ma'am. It will stimulate the secretion of the pituitary gland. Innondu one the students inhibiting hormone which is the one basically that is going to inhibit the secretions of the pituitary hormones. For example, a hypothalamic hormone which is called as gonadotropin releasing hormone GnRH will stimulate the pituitary and release the gonadotropins, okay? Release what? Gonadotropins. We have studied it in right now only in human reproduction. On the other hand, students, we have somatostanins, okay? We have somatostanins from the hypothalamus that will inhibit the release of growth hormone. So we have gonadotropin hormones, we have GnRH, GHIH, okay? Clear? Don't get confused. Gonadotropin releasing hormone and growth hormone. One is GHRH, one is GHIH. One is releasing hormone, one is inhibiting hormone. Because students, it makes sense, no? Nanga vandu hormone we are releasing or we are telling you stimulate. But ana adu vandu stop aganame illana increase will happen. So on the balance maintain pandradhukku taga neurosecretory cells can do two functions, releasing as well as inhibiting. Okay va? Now from the pituitary, these hormones originate in the hypothalamic neurons, pass through the axons and released from their nerve endings. These hormones reach the pituitary gland through a portal circulatory system. Don't worry, I'll explain all of this with diagram. Portal circulatory system, and they regulate the function of the anterior pituitary. So whose function do they regulate? Anterior pituitary. The posterior pituitary is under direct neural regulation of hypothalamus. Posterior pituitary is the boss, students. It will be like, I don't want to work under anyone. So adanale posterior pituitary will be directly, okay, neural regulation of hypothalamus, or in other ways we can say posterior pituitary is one of you people, okay, like backbenchers. Until your mom comes and sit right next to you, you will not study. So adamari the hypothalamus will be like, okay, I have to be in direct neural control with this posterior pituitary. Elena, this is not going to add any secretions or store any secretions. So adanale I have to be double conscious and I have to make sure that, you know, I am keeping an eye on this person. Okay, so students, can we start? Yes, GM Express. Put some train emojis in the chat box, okay? Because this is going to be GM Express, like Chennai Express. Chennai Express. My students are like, ma'am, ears are bleeding, ma'am, please. You think so? Ears are bleeding? Never, ma'am. You should never say that, okay? Okay. Now, students, let's start, okay? All jokes apart. So, hypothalamus vanda. This one page notes is enough for you to revise, okay? Present in the base of diencephalon. Okay, base of diencephalon. In the diencephalon one, it is present in the forebrain. Okay, it is present in the forebrain. Okay, wow. Then students, this hypothalamus, as I told you, master of master gland. Okay, master of master gland. Now coming to the main portion, this people will have neurosecretory cells, which we already understood. So we will write it in this corner. Okay. Neurosecretory cells are there. Neurosecretory cells or nuclei. Okay, nuclei. Students, these neurosecretory cells, I told you, they can produce the hormones. So they are going to form two types of hormones. One is called as the releasing hormone. Okay, one is called the releasing hormone. One is called the inhibiting hormone. Okay, inhibiting hormone. Releasing hormone vanda enna pandranga? They are going to stimulate the release of hormone, and inhibiting hormone vanda, it is going to inhibit Okay, it is going to inhibit the release of the hormone. So these are major things. Okay, major things. So remember, when I am writing RH, when I am writing, sorry, when I am writing RH, you should understand that I am talking about releasing. When I am writing IH, you should understand that I am talking about inhibiting. Okay, this is the code language, RH and IH. When I am telling RH and IH, you should understand, okay, ma'am is talking about it. Now students, remember, one second, I'll show you this, this as well. Okay. Okay, yes. Lymphatic system. Yeah. See students, I'll show you the, so look here. Can you see, no? Yeah. So look here. This is the brain. Okay. This is the brain. Can you see? Okay. Now, this is going to be the anterior cortex. Okay. Cingulate cortex it is. This is the part that is going to help you with all the decision makings, like whatever planning that we are doing, no, all that. Okay. This is nothing but your, okay, wait. Yeah. Amygdala, I'll tell you in the last, okay, which is going to your lymphatic system and your behavior, fight, pleasure, when you are happy, all this is going to do. Now I'll show you hypothalamus. Okay. Okay, this is the hypothalamus. Yeah. Can you see? This is the hypothalamus. If students, you look here, from the hypothalamus, there is a infundibulum or a stalk-like structure which is connecting it to your pituitary. Okay, it is connecting to what? To your pituitary gland, which is also called as your master gland, I told you. So can you see how the structure is? This is your hypothalamus. Hypothalamus is connected to the pituitary. Why so, ma'am? Because hypothalamus is the one who is going to control everything. Okay, is the one who is going to control. So that is why this connection is there. This diagram only I am going to draw and show you, and I'll also show you how the neurosecretory cells are working and all of it. Okay, so just look at the brain structure. This is how it is going to look like. Okay, this is actually, yeah. Okay, here lymphatic system also is there, students. Okay, this one, yeah. This is the portion. Okay, this is the about the corpus callosum. Hypothalamus understood, no? Hippocampus, yeah. This is the green color one is the hippocampus. Now I'll show you the pituitary gland as well. 1 minute, Endocrine glands, exogenous. This also you can understand almost the structure. If you look here, see this connection which you are seeing here, no students? This is the pituitary and the hypothalamus, like this. See, this is how the connection is. So you have the anterior lobe and you will have the posterior lobe. So you can see how the movement is happening. This is exogenous cortisol steroids, which I'll teach you in the last, how the acceptance is happening. But here you can see, how the structure is. From here the hypothalamus is going to activate, and here we will have a portal circulatory system, which is your hypophyseal portal vein, and that is going to carry all the secretions here and then give it to the target organs. Okay, to give it to the target organs. So here you can see how it is happening also. See, this is your, okay, this is your cortisol. This is your normal regulation, and this is the adrenal cortex. Okay, this is actually atrophy of adrenal cortex. Okay, when more secretions of corticosteroids happen. This I'll teach you in the last. Okay, but then you should understand this is important. Okay, you should understand this, that is important. corticosteroids are there, biological materials are there. Okay, we'll come back to this. So let's draw and understand. Okay, let's draw and understand what is the structure. So students, now hypothalamus in the region la irukum. Okay, this is where your hypothalamus is going to be there. From the hypothalamus there is going to be an extension, and then you will have your pituitary. Okay, you will have the pituitary, and then again you will have the stretching, and then you will have the hypothalamus. So this is somehow the pituitary and how the hypothalamus is going to be attached. Okay, wow. Now students, look here. Understand, here you will have your neurosecretory cells. Okay, here you will have the neurosecretory cells, here you will have the neurosecretory cells. This neurosecretory cells can actually do the direct, or let's say the secretions. Okay, they can do the secretions to the anterior pituitary, and anterior pituitary the secretions are going to be carried out with a hypophyseal portal vein. That is what they told you, there is a portal circulatory system. Remember they told you that. Okay, they told you that there is a portal circulatory system. Okay, so the secretions are going to go like this. Okay, secretions are directly going where, students? To the anterior pituitary. Correct or not? Yes ma'am, it is going to the anterior pituitary. But in the case of your posterior pituitary, students, the nuclei will have to add their secretions directly to the posterior, otherwise it is not going to take into consideration. So here remember, the secretions have to be added directly into the posterior pituitary from the neurosecretory cells. So let's just label this and understand what was happening. So this is your hypothalamus. Okay, hypothalamus. Okay, this is the pituitary gland. Okay, this is the pituitary gland. In the pituitary gland, students, technically there are 3 lobes, but then they always stress on these 2 lobes because they are very prominent to see. So first one, the nama anterior pituitary. You do not call it just anterior lobe, you call it anterior pituitary only. Adukapram, this region is going to be nama posterior pituitary. Okay, posterior pituitary. Now, enna nadakudhu, students? From here, the neurosecretory cells are adding the secretions, and this portal system, okay, this portal circulation, okay, this portal circulation is with the help of hypophyseal portal vein. Hypophyseal portal vein. Clear? This is done with the help of hypophyseal portal vein. This one. Okay. Now, students, this stalk-like structure which is connecting the hypothalamus and the pituitary, this is going to be called an infundibulum or a stalk. Okay. Infundibulum or a stalk. Understood? Just a connection between the hypothalamus and the pituitary. Here what is happening? The nucleus is directly adding the secretions to the posterior lobe. So that is why this is going to be there. Students, remember, in the anterior pituitary there is going to be one more lobe actually. Okay, there is going to be actually one more lobe. That lobe is not so prominent. It is called actually the intermediate lobe. Okay, there's one more going to be one small lobe structure here, which is going to be called the intermediate lobe. That will also, ma'am, does it have a boss character? No, students, it does not have a boss character. It will be normal only. So here this will be the intermediate lobe. Okay, intermediate lobe. Any doubts? Okay, I hope this is super duper clear to all of you. AC is not AC. Okay, it's not working. Okay, if you want, take a screenshot. Okay, you can take a screenshot and keep. It will be helpful. Done? Okay, let's go. Okay, understood? So this neurosecretory cells are going to be there. Now we are going to understand. So every lines of NCERT we have understood. Now we are going to understand pituitary gland. Okay, we are going to understand pituitary gland. Pituitary gland is located in a bony cavity. Okay, in a bony cavity called as sella turcica, and it is attached to the hypothalamus by a stalk or an infundibulum. It is divided anatomically into adenohypophysis and a neurohypophysis. Okay, adenohypophysis consists of two portions, students. That's what I told you. Pars distalis and pars intermedia. That means it has an anterior lobe and an intermediate lobe. The pars distalis region of the pituitary, commonly called as the anterior pituitary, produces growth hormone, okay, GH, prolactin, okay, prolactin, PRL, thyroid stimulating hormone, TSH. We have adenocorticotropic hormone, luteinizing hormone, follicular stimulating hormone. Okay, here whatever here itself you have to write it. Don't again separately take it to another place. Write it here only. Okay, so students, here remember your pituitary gland has mainly two parts. Okay, one is called as adenohypo. I want all of you to learn the word adenohypophysis. Ma'am, how will I remember this? Remember anterior A and adeno A. Okay, and then students, neurohypophysis, you can remember it this way, that okay, the neurosecretory cells have to directly go and add their secretion. So other madri also you can remember neurohypophysis. Okay, wow. Neurohypophysis. So adenohypophysis irukku, neurohypophysis irukku. Adenohypophysis la vande rendu region divide agara students. Which are those two regions? Adenohypophysis vande it is dividing to okay, it's dividing to pars distalis. Okay, another pars distalis, okay, and pars intermedia. Pars distalis and pars intermedia. Okay, va? It is easy done. Pars distalis and pars intermedia. Pars distalis region of the pituitary is called as what? Anterior pituitary. So pars intermedia will be called as, ma'am, obviously ma'am, intermediate lobe. Okay, intermediate lobe. So idu da nama anterior lobe. Okay pasingla, idu vanda nama intermediate lobe. Okay, idu vanda nama intermediate lobe. Next one, the neurohypophysis. Okay, next one, the neurohypophysis. Obviously neurohypophysis la vanda namak only one region is going to be there, that is going to be a posterior pituitary. Okay, so here they are saying anterior lobe la vanda inda ella hormones mein secretion agum, stimulating ayirukum. So pars intermedia secretes only one hormone, which is called as your melanocyte stimulating hormone. Enna release pandranga? Melanocyte stimulating hormone. However, okay, okay, adum complete panala, adukapram we will go forward. So students, in the entire pituitary la which all hormones are going to, you are going to see. So they spoke about growth hormone. Okay, they spoke about growth hormone. Yes or no? Yes ma'am. In the growth hormone la vanda students, it can be RH or it can be IH. So if it is RH, nama vanda enna we will write GH, RH we will write. Okay, IH na GH, IH na we will write. Ayyo. Okay, GH, RH. Okay, growth hormone vanda releasing a irukala illana inhibiting a irukala. Okay va? Understood? Ha, okay. So here inhibiting word they have already mentioned in your NCERT, so I am writing it here. somatostanins, which are actually secreted by your pancreas. Okay, somatostatin also you can write. Somatostanins is your inhibiting hormone. Okay, adukapram students, after growth hormone, what did they tell? Gonadotropin hormones are there, thyroid hormones are there, adrenocorticotropical hormones are there. So you can write your TSH. Okay, TSH. What is TSH? Thyroid stimulating hormone. Okay, TSH. Adukapram ACTH, AC adrenocorticotropic, ACTH. Yes or no? All these are going to be released here only. Okay, you can also write gonadotropin hormones. You can also write CRH also, corticotropin hormones also, or you can write adrenocorticotropic hormone. Okay, adrenocorticotropic hormone. Okay, Ilena, you can also write it, students. CRH. Okay, that is cortico releasing hormone. Because here instead of releasing hormone, they will just write this. So normally we should understand. Okay, corticotropic hormone means corticotropic hormone, that is again releasing hormone. Okay, okay, idu vandu releasing ah irukum. Then students, namakku vandu here gonadotropin is there, gonadoovid. Here see GHRH, inga vandu it is GNRH. Okay, GNRH. So I want all of you to focus on the spelling. Okay, Ilana, you will not understand. Gonadotropin. This we have already studied in sexual reproduction, yes or no? We know that first this hormone has to increase, otherwise the entire secondary sexual characters or any of the production of FSH, LH activation, nothing will happen. So in the gonadotropin hormone you have follicle stimulating hormone, FSH, ella stimulating, okay, luteinizing hormone. So idum vandu romba important. Follicle. Are you all smashing the attendance? Okay, like button, attendance mark panikonga, and also subscribe to the channel without fail. Okay, ninga support da is keeping us active. Okay, luteinizing hormone. Understood, ma'am? Okay, they are gonads. Okay, then what have they told students? They have told prolactin. PRH. Okay, prolactin is PRH because prolactin releasing hormone it is. Prolactin releasing hormone. Okay, prolactin releasing hormone, you know, again milk ejection, other things will happen. Even inhibiting functions will be there. Students, inga one I am writing it in another color, so you should understand that it is important. Okay, nama here MSH is there. Adu vandu nama melanocyte stimulating hormone. Idu vandu it will be released by the pars intermedia. Okay, remember that. This is by the pars intermedia. Okay, so that is by the intermediate lobe. This is all by the anterior lobe. Okay, please understand this much. That is only by the intermediate lobe. This is by your anterior lobe. So you should remember this. Anterior lobe is secreting so many things. So main job is anterior lobe only. And when the stimulating ellame, this anterior lobe is taking care so well. Okay, so well. Here students, yes, second part le, see here, However, in humans, the pars intermedia is almost merged with pars distalis. You saw that, no? There's no proper partition. Adu vandu merge ஆதா irukku. And neurohypophysis or pars nervosa. Neuro and nervosa, you can remember this, no? Nervosa, also known as posterior pituitary, stores, very important word, okay? What is the important word here? Stores, here you, stores and releases two hormones called as oxytocin and vasopressin, which are actually synthesized by the hypothalamus and are transported axonally to the neurohypophysis, that is with the help of your neurosecretory cells, okay? And the neurosecretory cells also, students, we can call different names actually, paraventricular nuclei, supraventricular nuclei, supraoptic nuclei. So adu madri names also will be there for these neurosecretory cells illana nuclei, but ana adu vandu konja additional information. So but remember, different there are different types, no? So neurosecretory cells are different types which are doing the secretions or adding the secretions to the pituitary, okay? Pituitary, so they are transported axonally to neurohypophysis over secretion, okay? Here we'll come into first you try and understand this much: neither this AC is too much or this AC is too less. Doesn't behave only, so misbehaving AC in the world, okay? Really, students, I can't. So disappointing, this AC is, okay? Yeah. So look here, okay? You'll be like, ma'am, every day you're telling us about AC. At this point, we should really buy and give you, ma'am. Okay? So here, neurohypophysis. Neurohypophysis. In the neurohypophysis is also called as what? It's also called as your, sorry, not neurohypophysis, it's a region, okay? Then this has a partition which is called as pars nervosa, okay? Nervosa. Sometimes we'll write neurosa, but it is nervosa, okay? And this pars nervosa is all called as your posterior pituitary. Posterior pituitary, okay va? In the posterior pituitary level, what is happening, students? Hypothalamus would have already synthesized this vasopressin and oxytocin, but it will give this fellow for storage. It will tell you store and you release, okay? See here, stores and releases, important, stores and releases. It does not synthesize, but it will just store and it will release. And this this storage also, neurosecretory cells are directly going and adding the secretions, okay va? So inga vanda oxytocin adukapram enna kana vasopressin, okay? Vasopressin da. So oxytocin, you already know, uterine contraction, okay? Contraction of uterine muscles. With that also the ejection of milk also. Production prolactin will do, but ejection vandu oxytocin da. Adukapram vasopressin. Vasopressin also called as your ADH, anti-diuretic hormone. Adu vandu it does reabsorption of water from the DCT and the CD, okay? That is your collecting duct. Do you want me to write that separately? Ma'am, obviously, ma'am. What is this, ma'am? Okay. So here, pars nervosa. Many of my students like this technique of teaching where like I read NCERT and then I write GM Express. Many students message me on my, even on my old videos also. Many students wonder, they say, ma'am, Inga, you write NCERT and you write GM Express, ma'am, that is enough for us. Okay, vasopressin. Okay, vasopressin. See students, oxytocin, adukapram vasopressin, and the oxytocin. So I hope all of you saw the live as well, okay? Innekku oru live irundachu, there I have given a Google form, and the Google form, please fill it, because you are going to get some free test series which we have created over, you know, from past 7 days. I'm showing you the journey of it, but it has taken more than that, the month, planning, everything, and a lot of hard work has gone in, lot of sleepless nights of mine as well. So adanala I want all of you to get it for free as well. Majority students I want to give it for free, and for other students also we will definitely do a price drop for all of you, because you are my students. I can do that for you people, okay? So students, oxytocin one, it is going to do what? It is going to help in uterine contraction, okay, uterine contraction, that is it's going to stimulate the muscles, so you can write contraction of the uterine muscles. Also it is going to help in ejection of milk, okay, ejection of milk, that is especially during the thing. And also students, oxytocin is also considered as a love hormone. That means when a person is hugging or cuddling, the person will feel one happiness, no, that also. So oxytocin is also called as a love hormone. Okay, oxytocin is also called as a love hormone. Adukapram students, you have vasopressin. Vasopressin one mainly ADH. Okay, it is also called as ADH. ADH na anti-diuretic hormone. Anti-diuretic hormone. This one the diuresis is time. Diuresis means where there is loss of water. Right, this is what happens. There will be loss of water. So, on the loss of water time, these people will have to do reabsorption of water. Okay, this mainly happens if the person has diabetes mellitus. Okay, sugar, we say no. Here diabetes insipidus also. This is diabetes insipidus, but also remember during diabetes mellitus also people do have urination, lot of urination. But then here when this happens, we say diabetes insipidus. Okay, diabetes insipidus. Now here students, remember these people are going to do conditional reabsorption of distal convoluted tubules plus collecting duct. Okay, collecting duct. What they will do? Conditional reabsorption of this to restore water. Okay, because water when the lost touches, so on the water when the number restore pannanam, illena the person will go to a diuresis condition. Okay, wow, this is clear to all of you. Okay, because if this doesn't happen, students, remember loss of water will be there, the urine will be very least concentrated and the urine will be hypotonic in nature. Okay, it will be hypotonic in nature. I hope this is clear. Now remember these two hormones are actually added in the pars nervosa, the neurosecretory or the nuclei will add the hormones, and this people's main job is just to store. Okay, main job, this question has come, that's why I'm stressing so much. This job on the students to store. Adukapram nama hypothalamus vanda, it will tell it is time to release, so that time this will get released. So store and release the function. Synthesizing, it's not its function. Okay, synthesizing, it's not its function. Clear? One more thing I wanted to write here. Okay, one more thing right here, students, just add here. Okay, pars nervosa is actually present in the sella turcica. In the sella turcica one, we have already studied in locomotion. It is present in the sphenoid bone. Okay, sphenoid bone la vandu or depression mari irukum, and the depression the sella turcica, and the sella turcica la vandu pituitary gland is going to be present. Okay, ready, steady, go. Understood? Easy, right? You'll be like, ma'am, this chapter was so easy, ma'am. Yes, students, it was very easy. Okay, you people complicated it. Okay, so NCERT is done. Okay, GM Express also is done. Okay, notes are all done. Clear? Everything is done. This full cross I have written, students. Full cross I have written. Okay, now look here. Okay, this, here. Now, what will happen if you do hyposecretion and hypersecretion? That means, if I do oversecretion, not me, let's say growth hormone vanda over a secrete achana, what is the scenarios that is going to happen? Oversecretion of GN stimulates abnormal growth of the body. Growth hormone vanda, it is necessary, students, it's necessary for the entire body, because namakku vanda growth nadakanamna growth hormone vanda release aganam. But ana the oversecrete ana, then we will get abnormal growth of the body, leading to gigantism. Have you seen people who are extremely extremely tall. Okay, not normally tall, extremely tall. Not your friend who is 6'1". அது வந்து extremely tall கிடையாது. அந்த gigantism which is in your Guinness book. Okay, I forgot his name. So அந்த tall. Okay, gigantism and low secretion, students. ரொம்ப low secrete ஆனா then it will lead to what? Stunned growth resulting in dwarfism. So gigantism and dwarfism is there. Excess secretion of growth hormone in adult, especially in the middle age. Okay, that means after a normal growth also, in the middle also there can be chances where the excretion will happen. இது வந்து நான் Telegram I have added a photo of one lady who had acromegaly where she was normal till one age. After that secretion started increasing and suddenly she started having longer jaws, longer fingers. So Telegram channel, if you want to join, Gopika Biology Telegram channel, and the Telegram channel எல்லா நோட்ஸுமே இருக்கும், அப்டேட்ஸ் இருக்கும். I do live also. அது மாதிரி தான் we need Tamil Nadu எல்லா நோட்ஸுமே அங்கே இருக்கும். And இந்த நோட்ஸ் வந்து டிஸ்கிரிப்ஷன் பாக்ஸில் இருக்கும். Okay, excess secretion of growth hormone in adults, especially in the middle age can lead to severe disfigurement, especially in the face, that is called as acromegaly. Okay, which may lead to serious complication and premature death if unchecked. The disease is hard to diagnose. Okay, sorry. The disease, wait, I'll move the slide here. Okay. The disease is hard to diagnose in the external features until the external features become noticeable. Now, students, look here. Prolactin regulates the growth of the mammary glands. We all know this. Yes or no? Mammary glands, and also it helps in the formation of the milk. Okay, prolactin. In them, FSH FSH stimulates the synthesis and secretion of the thyroid gland. What does it do? It will synthesize and secretion of the thyroid hormone TSH from the thyroid gland. ACH, so ella function may they are saying ACH stimulates the synthesis and the secretion of steroid hormones called as glucocorticoids, which are from the adrenal cortex. LH and FSH will stimulate the gonadal activities and hence they are called as gonadotrophins. In males, LH will stimulate the synthesis and secretion of hormones called as androgens. That is, students, you already know your Leydig cells are there, and the Leydig cells வந்து testosterone release பண்றாங்க. And the testosterone வந்து it is going to help in spermatogenesis. Okay, in males, FSH and androgens regulate spermatogenesis. In females, LH will induce the ovulation. So one day before the 14th day, நம்ம LH வந்து பீக்ல இருக்கும். அதுதான் நம்ம LH surge. அந்த LH surge reason காரணம் தான் அந்த ovulation நடக்குது. Graphene follicle rupture and releases secondary oocyte. So maintains the corpus luteum, and it also maintains the corpus luteum formed from the remnants of the graphene follicle. இது எல்லாமே we almost know it, but we have to still study it. Okay, now FSH will stimulate the growth and the development of the ovarian follicles in the female. நம்ம first follicular phases la வந்து FSH will that is follicular stimulating hormone will be increasing. Why? Because follicles have to be developed. Primary follicle, secondary follicle, tertiary follicle, graphene follicle. அந்த developmentக்காக FSH will be released. அந்த follicles வந்து estrogen release பண்ணி it is going to help in other functions as well. So that is what they are telling here. MSH, students, MSH, that is your melanocytes. I'll write all of this, don't worry. Melanin containing cells will regulate pigmentation of the skin. நம்ம South Indians க்கு வந்து pigmentation வந்து அதிகமா இருக்கு. நம்ம வந்து fair skin tone கிடையாது. நம்ம வந்து கொஞ்சம் brown skin tone தான், because நம்ம melanin வந்து அதிகமா இருக்கும். பட் ஆனா நம்ம கொஞ்சம் north sideல போனேன்னா அங்க வந்து people are more fair. Okay, because அங்க melanin is little secretion வந்து கொஞ்சம் கடுமையா தான் இருக்கும். நம்ம melanin அதிகமா இருந்தா நம்ம skin tone வந்து கொஞ்சம் டார்க்கா இருக்கு. நம்ம melanin கம்மியா இருந்தா நம்ம skin tone வந்து கொஞ்சம் ஃபேரா இருக்கும். Okay, அதுதான் melanin. Melanin means this pigmentation. Oxytocin acts on in the pigmentation, students. In the melanin secretion வந்து கொஞ்சம் it does do affect, it is also affected கொஞ்சம் with the lifestyle, நம்ம food habits அதுவும் affect ஆகும், because நமக்கு வந்து dark circles என்னென்ன pigmentation வரதுக்கு நம்ம food habitsum important ஆன ஒரு role play பண்றாங்க. பட் ஆனா நம்ம melanocyte is the main one. Okay, now oxytocin acts on smooth muscles of the body, helps in contraction. I already told you. It also stimulates the milk ejection. Vasopressin acts mainly on the kidney. I told you, antidiuretic hormone. And impairment affecting synthesis or release of ADH results in diminished ability of the kidney to conserve water, leading to dehydration. This condition is called as diabetes insipidus. Okay, so if this hormone is getting affected, that is your antidiuretic hormone is getting affected, then students, the ability of the kidney to conserve water will reduce, and that will lead to hypotonic urine, and that also leads to diabetes insipidus. Okay, va? Understood this? So shall we write GM Express? Come on. Okay, what did we study so far? Okay, what did we study so far? Okay, நம்ம வந்து hormone, students. Actually, there are two types of hormones which are actually tropic hormones and non-tropic hormones. இப்போ tropic hormones na they are going to only stimulate that target organ, but ana non-tropic na they can stimulate as a whole. Nama growth hormone or example. Tropic hormone and non-tropic hormones are there, but I can write it for all of you. Yes students, I was telling about tropic and non-tropic hormones. Tropic hormones na students, it is going to actually stimulate illana work in favor for another endocrine gland, okay. But ana non-tropic it will directly attack the tissues and the cells, directly the target tissues. Instead of going like this, it will be like, no, I'll directly attack the target tissues. Other than nama growth hormone, okay. So tropic hormones so hormones, I'll give you a trick also to remember this. You don't have to remember all the hormones, but Anna, if there is a trick, it is always easier. Okay. Okay. So first one, the tropic hormones. Tropic hormones. Tropic hormones, now students, they act on another endocrine gland. Okay. Act on an other endocrine gland. Okay. Neural control and coordination also I will do. So by then we will finish the entire human physiology. So human physiology will be done. Adakapuram cell, like that we will be doing. And I also told you one shot of zoology is coming very soon. So adanala you make sure that you're watching that also. It's a quick revision class. Okay, quick revision. Almost 9 hours la complete zoology of class 11th and class 12 we are going to complete. Okay, va? Yes or no? Huh? It'll be like, ma'am, how much, ma'am? One second, students. Okay. So tropic hormones act on another endocrine gland. Example one, you can remember the word tall, actually tall, but then the one more L is directly it stimulates the liver, that is why. So that will become a little difficult for you to remember. So you can remember talf. Okay, I don't think is there in any word. Maybe if you find another word you can remember, or even you can remember fat also, students. You can remember fat. Okay, fat. Tropic hormones are fat. So here, remember, these people are going to attack another endocrine gland. No, so here you can remember your adrenal gonads, okay, like your FSH, okay. Now here FSH, LH also is there, but Anna letters will become too much, so Adinala I am not adding it here. So remember, these people are going to, okay, gonads. Then we have your ACTH, okay, that is going to attack your, stimulate your adrenal cortex, okay. Then we have T, which is your thyroid. This is going to attack your thyroid gland. Okay, wait, I'll write here TSH. Okay, this is going to stimulate your next hormone, which is your thyroid. So you can see, they act on other endocrine glands, and that is why these people are all acting elsewhere, no? So adanalada nama tropic hormones. Ana non-tropic hormones, students, they will directly attack the target tissues. Okay, non-tropic hormones, idu vanda directly it will act on targeted tissue, issues I am writing, targeted tissues or cells. Like example one, actually many examples are there. I'm thinking, should I? So students, pig coat. Okay. Here pig coat you can remember. This is actually a prolactin. You can remember like that many. But then if you feel no ma'am, it's too much for us, then I will give you just one example. You just remember your growth hormone. Students, growth hormone, it is not actually fully non-tropic. It also is partially, because it can actually stimulate the liver for one certain thing. So it is not completely non-tropic, but still we write this under non-tropic. Okay, non-tropic, because this one is going to directly attack the tissues and cells. Okay, you can also think of prolactin, you can also think of cortisol, you can think about you can also think about coat. Oxytocin, okay, I was not able to remember oxytocin, okay, oxytocin also you can remember. So this is your non-tropic. If inga one the students under growth hormone only, we will write over secretion and hyposecretion, okay. So if secretion is over, like more secretion is there, over secretion is there, it will lead to what, ma'am? It will lead to gigantism. Gigantism, okay, over secretion will lead to gigantism. Hyposecretion or under secretion, under secretion will lead to what? Dwarfism. Okay, dwarfism. Now in the middle age, okay, after a certain point, okay, after a certain point, students, if it is increases happening, okay, after a certain age, okay, like your middle age, we say not, I write certain age only, after a certain age, if it is increasing, okay, then we call it acromegaly. Okay, the pronunciation is little different, okay, don't go by pronunciation, look at the spelling, okay. This is the clear. So students, at a certain age, okay, at a certain age, let's say the person suddenly there is a secretion, okay, increase in secretion, or let's say over secretion is happening, then it will lead to acromegaly or megaly, okay, megaly I'm telling, okay, megdy, like megdy I'm telling, acromegaly, okay. So that is basically where there will be a disfigurement in the body. Acromegaly, okay, it is going to do disfigurement. So remember, mainly students, the jaw will start stretching, okay, jaw வந்து கொஞ்சம் அதிகமா இருக்கும். So face structure பார்க்கும்போது கொஞ்சம் different ஆதா இருக்கும். Okay வா? Is this understood? I don't think any other problem is there, okay. Yeah, if you want to write, see, if you want the trick for pick code, இப்போ வந்து telegram channel la share பண்ணிருக்கிறேன் students, okay, like prolactin, insulin, you can write glucagon, oxytocin, ADH, thyroid, cortisol, calcitonin, அது மாதிரி you can write all of it. So அது வந்து I have written the mnemonics, so அதனால I will share it with all of you, okay வா? Okay, so you can write many of it here, not just this example. Okay, fat pig you can remember, because students, prolactin is affecting the mammary glands, okay, adu madri da. So like this, okay, so fat pig you can remember, okay, fat pig you can remember as the example. This is understood, right? Okay, this also we understood, yeah. Next gland is going to be your pineal gland, okay, next gland is going to be what? Your pineal gland. The pineal gland is located on the dorsal side of the forebrain. Pineal secretes a hormone called as melatonin. This is majority of the students have confusion. Students, melanin vanda nama pigmentation kaga, nama skin color kaga. Melatonin is the one who is going to regulate your sleep and wake up cycle, your circadian rhythms, okay, that is when you wake up, when you sleep, nama day to day routine vanda idudha he is only maintaining, okay. Melatonin, students, plays an important role, a very important role in regulation of your 24 hours diurnal rhythms of our body. For example, it helps in maintaining the normal rhythm of the sleep and wake up cycle, body temperature. In addition, melatonin also influences metabolism, pigmentation, the menstrual cycle, as well as our defense capabilities. நமக்கு வந்து இது தெரியும், நம்ம normal sleep and wake up cycle correct இல்லைனா நமக்கு pigmentation வரும், menstruation, especially for the women, you know, if you take a lot of stress and you don't sleep properly, your menstruation also will be affected, or your menstrual cycle will be affected. And students, also metabolism, நம்ம metabolism வந்து கம்மியாகும், அதிகமா இருக்கும். So அந்த changesum இதுல normala நடக்கும், okay வா? Understood this much? Yes or no? This is very simple, okay, very simple. You don't have to break your head for this. Then, oh my god, pineal gland is very easy, okay. Just know the location as well. It is on the dorsal side, okay. Pineal gland, dorsal side of the brain, okay, dorsal side of the brain. So base of the diencephalon irukku, dorsal side of the brain irukku. Okay, dorsal side of the brain irukku. Pineal gland வந்து mainly என்ன release பண்றாங்க? They are releasing your melatonin. Okay, melatonin. Okay, melatonin, and in the melatonin வந்து it will regulate the sleep and wake up cycle. Okay, that is your sleep 24 hours cycle. 24-hour rhythm cycle, students. When you wake up, when you will sleep, when you will wake up, when you will sleep, all of that. Okay, your 24 hours rhythm cycle. And students, it's because of the sleep cycle, number one, the menstruation, like menstrual cycle or other things also will get affected. Okay, so remember, during your sleeping time, this melatonin will be secreted more so that your sleep can, you know, inducing sleep, and at the same time, if you are awake, the opposite will happen. Okay, wow. So it will also regulate temperature, metabolism. Okay, metabolism, body temperature, metabolism, pigmentation, menstrual cycle. So this is what is your pineal gland. Melatonin is the one that is released. So adanala I want all of you to remember this, because it's easy to forget this chapter, but you have to make a hold on this chapter. Okay, you have to make a hold on this chapter, that okay, I am going to study, I am going to do this much of it. Okay, Elena, gone students, you will forget this chapter in no time. Okay, you will forget this chapter in no time. Clear? Yes. Defense capabilities also it is going to help. Okay, in our defense capabilities also it is going to help. Add on here. Okay, defense capabilities. Done, ma'am. Understood. Okay, here space was there, students. It's okay. Okay, now we will start with thyroid gland. Yeah. Oh no. Oh no. No. And this I will duplicate. Okay, yeah. Thyroid gland. Okay, start panlama. Okay, this is very important. Okay, very important. Thyroid gland is composed of two lobes which are located on neither side of the trachea. Both the lobes are interconnected with a thin flap of connective tissue. So thyroid gland, students, is composed of what? Ma'am, it is composed of two lobes, okay, which are located on neither side of the trachea. The lobes are interconnected. Lobes are what? Interconnected with what? With a thin flap of connective tissue called as isthmus. Okay. The thyroid gland is composed of follicles and stromal tissues, which I'll draw and show you. Don't worry. Follicle, and also there is stromal tissues. And here, students, each thyroid follicle is composed of follicular cells enclosing a cavity. These follicular cells will synthesize two hormones. Which are the two hormones? Tetraiodothyroidin, or your thyroxine, which is T4, and your triiodothyroidin, which is your T3. Iodine is essential for normal rate of hormonal synthesis in thyroid. Deficiency will reach to hypothyroidism. Also, students, remember, commonly we call it as goiter, where you have swelling of this neck region. This neck portion is the swollen. Hypothyroidism during pregnancy can cause leading to stunned growth. That is, in babies, it can lead to cretinism, which is a mental retardation, low intelligence quotient, abnormal skin, deaf or mutism. All this is like situations that can happen. Okay, wow. In adult women, students, hypothyroidism may cause menstrual cycle to become very irregular, and also not only that, many people who have hyper or hypothyroidism, they can go through two conditions where they will increase the weight extremely or decrease the weight extremely. Decreasing weight to such an extent that they will start looking very different and very sick as well. Okay. Now, due to cancer of thyroid gland or due to the development of nodules of the thyroid gland, the rate of synthesis and secretion will be abnormal, leading to hyperthyroidism, which adversely affects the body physiology. Okay, we will write it and then you will understand everything, because if I just read NCERT, you're not going to understand. Okay, so your thyroid gland. So, student, thyroid gland is the largest endocrine gland. Okay, first you should know that. Thyroid gland largest endocrine gland. Okay, important. Largest endocrine gland. Okay, this is understood, no? If students, where location is important, it is present above the trachea. Okay, or we can say both the sides it will be visible. I can't show you the diagram here. So here you can see two lobes which are located on neither side of the trachea. Neither side of the trachea. And students, it is almost butterfly shaped. Butterfly shaped. All of you marked your attendance? Okay, almost butterfly shaped. I'll show you here. Yes. See here, this is the thyroid gland. Look at it, it's almost butterfly shaped gland. This is a tumor in the thyroid gland and this is your parathyroid gland when we show it in the reverse. Okay, so this is the healthy thyroid gland. Shape paakumbodhu eppadi irukum students, butterfly shape irukum. Nama trachea will pass here, so on neither side there is one lobe that is present. Clear? One lobe that is present, and this thyroid glands have follicular cells. Okay, one second. Pancreas is there, diabetes, thyroid gland. Okay, one second. So students, look here. This is the thyroid gland. Can you see? This is your cartilages which are present that will form your, you already I have taught you your larynx. Okay, 9 cartilages are there. So here you can see sarcoid, thyroid cartilage, hyoid bone, epiglottis. So in the follicle, this is the follicle. See, look here how they have. Okay, there is the cavity and this is your follicular cell, and also there is the, this is the thyroid follicle. Can you see? I think it is little dull on the screen. Okay, yeah, now it will be focused. See, look at it. Can you see it? So, this is the follicular cells. This is the follicular cells. Okay, in the interstitial space, la parafollicular cells also is going to be present. Okay, va? Okay, Kanna, understood? And students, here you will see, this structure is the isthmus. Okay, one flap-like structure which is connecting both the thyroid is going to be called the isthmus. So, this is your 3D of it. Okay, one second. That's all is there. Okay. This you understood, no? I will see if there is more. They're just showing the thyroid. Okay, this is the one flap-like structure. They're not showing more. Okay, ossified thyroid, tearing thyroid cartilage. This is the cartilage. Don't get confused. Okay. That's all is there, students. Okay, thyroid, that's all is there. Okay, and that is understood, right? It's nice to see in 3D, no? We feel like we should see more. Endocrine glands. Okay, now we will go back. Okay, thyroid gland. Okay, so since it's almost butterfly shaped, now all of you understood. Now, how is the thyroid gland? Remember, it is a butterfly shaped, almost butterfly shaped structure. So, it will be like this, okay, and it will be like this. Now you should remember there is a flap like structure which is right at the center. Okay, in the flap like structure right at the center is called as the isthmus. Okay, isthmus, which is a flap like structure. Okay, flap like structure which is called the isthmus. Now students, if I take a cross section of this small portion, okay, if I take a cross section of this much and if I draw it here, it will be like this. Okay, this is the cross section. And remember, just like how you saw there will be cells present like this. Like this, there will be cells present, and these cells are called as nothing but the follicular cells. So those are the follicular cells. Okay, va? Clear? Yes or no? And this right at the center, students, we call that as the colloid. I think most of you would have seen it in the 3D. Okay, I'll show it once again if you want. This is the colloid where the storage will happen. Okay, this is the thyroid gland. Done? Storage. Yes, very good. So here we go. This is the follicular cells. Okay, and this region is the colloid, where the storage of the hormone has to happen. Okay, now students, this follicular cells வந்து என்னெல்லாம் release பண்ணும்? T3 and அதுக்கப்புறம் T4. Okay, T3 and T4 will be released. Done. This is understood, right? Okay, yes or no? This is your T3. Now students, in the spaces, I told you in the spaces la vandu para follicular cells are going to be also present. Okay, they are going to be para follicular cells that is also present. Cells that is present. I'll teach you parathyroid hormone, but Anna, understand parafollicular cells also will be present. Clear? Yes or no? Now remember, how does the functioning happen, students? Nama functioning vandu normally hypothalamus will be there. Okay, just imagine nama hypothalamus irukum. Okay, and the hypothalamus vandu, it will tell the pituitary glands, anterior pituitary. Okay, it will tell the anterior pituitary to stimulate. And in the anterior pituitary வந்து என்ன release பண்றாங்க? They are releasing the TSH. Okay, TSH. In the TSH வந்து students, okay, in the TSH வந்து what it is going to do? It is going to activate the release of T3 அதுக்கப்புறம் T4. Okay, clear? So this is how the signal is going from hypothalamus to anterior pituitary to the T3 and the T4. Yeah, understood? Yes. Okay, so it will here. One question will come. What is the main function of thyroid gland? Remember, the thyroid gland or the hormone, their main function is the basal metabolic rate. Okay, basal metabolic rate. Basal metabolic rate வந்து it will become less, students, if the thyroid hormone is not performing properly. So அதனால major function வந்து basal metabolic rate, temperature increase பண்ணும், அதெல்லாம் இருக்கு. Okay, growth, menstrual cycle அதெல்லாம் இருக்கு. பட் ஆனால் இதுதான் ரொம்ப முக்கியம். செகண்ட் வந்து women'sல வந்து இது முக்கியம். It will change the menstrual. Okay, menstrual cycle will become irregular in case the thyroid hormone does not regulate properly. Okay, va? Understood, no? Yes. So this is your entire, and this is the largest endocrine gland. Yes. So students, why one more question that comes is, in India, okay, we give a lot of importance to iodine containing salts. Not in India, everywhere, but iodine containing salts is used in India mostly. Why? Because students, this iodine is necessary for the proper functioning. Okay, proper functioning of thyroid. So that is why we have salt in our every meal, because iodine is necessary for our thyroid to function properly. That is why we have iodinized salt. Okay, iodinized salt na iodine containing salt. So that one important. Why? Because thyroid should function properly. Okay, very simple things I have told, nothing complicated I have told. I have kept it very simple. Now you should understand that, students, due to secretion, okay, yeah, due to secretion, I should have just repeated this slide. Okay, yeah. Now when the thyroid, again, secretions, depending on the secretion, what will be the situation? 1 minute. Okay, now Normally, if the secretions are more and high, you know, this thyroid hormone, okay, what is going to happen, students? If the secretion, over secretion happens. If over secretion happens, what is the situation? If under secretion happens, what is the situation? If over secretion, now students, TCH is going to be more, right? If TCH is going to be more, then it will lead to what? Hyperthyroidism, right? It will lead to hyperthyroidism. In the hyperthyroidism, students, it's also connected to your Graves' disease or exophthalmic goiter. Okay, here you can see, you'll be like, ma'am, I did not see NCERT. Yeah, see, look here. Exophthalmic goiter is a form of hyperthyroidism characterized by the enlargement of thyroid gland, protrusion of the eyeball. Okay, protrusion of the eyeballs, increased basal metabolic rate, and weight loss is called as Graves' disease. Okay, thyroid hormone plays an important role in regulation. These hormones also support the process of red blood cells formation. Thyroid hormones also control the metabolism of carbohydrates, proteins, okay, and fats. That's why there's a regulation in the body weight as well. Okay, if the thyroid is not controlled, you will see a variation in the body weight, sudden drop or sudden increase in weight. You have to go get your thyroid checked. And students, there's no age limit. You can also check your thyroid. Don't think that I am in my 17, I am in my 18, I will not have thyroid. Nothing like that. Thyroid hormone, again, hypothyroidism can come anytime, and especially if it is already in your family, like your mother or father has it, then chances are very more. Okay, so students, maintenance of water and electrolyte balance is also influenced by thyroid hormones. Thyroid glands also secrete a protein hormone called as thyrocalcitonin, okay, TCT, which regulates the blood calcium level. Actually, this protein hormone is secreted by your parafollicular cells. Okay, parafollicular cells, which I drew here, no? These people will be releasing your TCT, okay, thyroid calcitonin. Okay, they are going to regulate what, students? They are going to regulate the calcium levels. So this one page is enough, you will understand everything. Regulate calcium levels. Done? Now hyperthyroidism, what did they say? Exophthalmic, P is silent, okay? It will lead to exophthalmic goiter, which can also be called as Graves' disease. Okay, Graves' disease. Students, here Graves' disease, what and all are the condition? You should know. Protruding eyes. Okay, protruding eyes. Okay, protruding eyes. Okay, protruding eyes. Then you will have increase in basal BMR. I'll write, students. BMR you will understand, no? Not BMI, BMR. Basal metabolic rate will be very, very high. Okay. Weight loss is there. Weight loss. Okay. So these are some of the characteristics. Okay. The person is going to become thin. Okay. Very thin. And this is called as Graves' disease. If under secretion, that means secretion hypo aayirunda, what will happen? So in this will lead to hypothyroidism. Okay, hypothyroidism. Hypothyroidism, students, especially if it happens during pregnancy. Okay, if it happens during pregnancy, what is the situation? During pregnancy, it is going to lead to cretinism. Lead to cretinism. Cretinism na அந்த பேபிக்கு IQ ரொம்ப கம்மியா இருக்கும். Okay, baby can have mental retardness. stunned growth வந்து ப்ராப்பரா இருக்காது students. That's why women during pregnancy do not consume any tablets. Certain food also they will completely avoid, okay, because there are chances that the baby can have problems, okay, and that is why deaf, mutism, okay, baby can be deaf, or we say casual words may dumb, but we are supposed to use the word mutism, okay. So mutism can happen, jaundice can happen, delayed puberty can happen. Adu madri konja adhigamana conditions is going to be there, okay. So that is your cretinism if it is happening during pregnancy time. Illena students, goiter also can come. All of you know about goiter, right? Goiter also is simple goiter because of deficiency of iodine. That's why simple goiter. This mainly happens in people who don't have enough iodine in their body, okay. So that will be iodine concentration will be less. This will lead to swelling of the thyroid gland. Swelling of, wait, am I writing thyroid spelling everywhere wrong? Swelling of thyroid gland, okay, got it. This is your basic hypothyroidism. Students, these are the not only the just condition, there are many conditions, but then right now we are only sticking to NCERT, okay. There are many diseases which are connected to thyroid, okay. So adanala you will see a vast diseases as well, like Gall's disease, adu mari romba diseases irukku. This Gall's disease happen in female adults, okay. Adu vandu again low metabolism rate, gaining of weight, infertility, idellame nadakkum, okay. Yes or no? Understood? Any doubts here? Graves disease, exophthalmic and cretinism is very important, okay. Cretinism is very important, okay. Next is your parathyroid gland. Before that you have to know about your parafollicular, okay. Parathyroid, I'll make you read here, okay. We will read both together, okay. Yes, let's continue. Okay, so students, inga vanda thyroid hormone is done and dusted. We have understood everything about thyroid hormone. Next vanda nama parathyroid hormone, okay va, parathyroid hormone. So let me just show you some images, okay, some images. It is very important to see all these images. Can you see, right? So students, this is the isthmus. See here, this is the isthmus, this is the trachea, this is the larynx, thyroid gland and the isthmus, okay. Now look here, thyroid gland main function is going to be modulate and maintain the heartbeat, control the blood pressure to modulate the levels of oxygen and nutrients, and also energy production for the mitochondria. Now students, here if you see, if you take a zoomed image of it, you will be able to see follicular cells, thyroid follicle, cavity and the parafollicular cells. In the parafollicular cells that will release the TCT, okay. Now we are going to understand about parathyroid gland, okay. So parathyroid gland, students, in humans 4 parathyroid glands are going to be present right behind thyroid gland. Pinnadi da in the parathyroid glands irukum. So 4 parathyroid glands are present on the back side of the thyroid gland, 1 pair each in 2 lobes of the thyroid gland. The parathyroid gland secrete a peptide hormone which is called as parathyroid hormone, PTH. The secretion of PTH is regulated by circulating levels of calcium ions. Parathyroid hormone increases the calcium levels in the blood, okay. Namakku vanda and the tetany, students, tetany also we have understood that calcium level in the body fluid increases, that will lead to tetany, rapid spasm of the muscles, okay va. So PTH acts on bones and stimulate the process of bone resorption, okay, bone resorption or dissolution or demineralization of the bone. That means from the bone we will start taking the calcium, okay, calcium. PTH also stimulates reabsorption of calcium by the renal tubules and increases calcium absorption. So enna pannuva, PTH na stimulate reabsorption of calcium, okay. increases calcium absorption from the digested food. It is thus clear that PTH is hypercalcemic hormone, that is, it increases the blood calcium level. Along with TCT, it plays a significant role in balancing the TCH, I mean in the calcium. So students, this is the flow chart that you have to remember. In the flow chart la ella irukku konjam bright ah da irukum, but ana PDF la vandu correct ah da irukum, description box la PDF irukum. So what is going to happen students? Blood calcium level. Now imagine blood calcium level is high. Okay, nama body la blood calcium level became high. If it is high, then the thyroid gland vanda, it will release calcitonin. It will release what? It will release calcitonin. Who is going to release? Parafollicular cells will be releasing the TCT. Okay, it will release calcitonin, and the calcitonin vanda, it will reduce the calcium levels. Okay, it will do what students? Reduce the calcium level. It will give the calcium to the bones. It will give the calcium to the tissues. It will tell everyone you use how much of a calcium you want, and don't give the calcium back to me. Okay, adu mari and the calcium utilization he will do. Adukapram students, let's imagine nama body la vandu calcium low aayirukku. Immediately nama parathyroid gland vandu activate agum. Parathyroid hormone vandu, we can also call it parathormone or else parathyroid hormone. And the parathyroid hormone vandu students, it will rise the calcium level. Epidi ma'am, it is going to stimulate the PCT, your tubules, renal tubules. It is going to absorb the calcium from digested food. Also, one main thing it is going to do is demineralization of the bones. Bones it will demineralize the bones and it will take the calcium from the bones. So that is the main function. Okay, so you should understand here students, the thyroid, this thyroid hormone, that is your calcitonin. Okay, calcitonin students, remember, it will decrease the calcium level. It will decrease the calcium levels. Okay va, it will decrease the calcium level. Adukapram you have, okay, you have parathyroid hormone. Parathyroid hormone, this will increase the calcium level. Okay, increase the calcium level. It is very, very important. Epidi increase vandra? By desorption of the bones or demineralization of the bones. Okay, clear all of you? Understood this much? So this is the basic thing. Okay, Graves' disease we have done. Here I will just write blood calcium. Okay, if it is high, okay, immediately who will get the signal? Ma'am, thyroid hormone will get the signal. Sorry, thyroid gland will get the signal. From the thyroid gland, the parafollicular cells, they will release what students? Remember, we can call this process as calcium homeostasis. Calcium homeostasis, illana homeostasis meaning students, homeostasis na, the ones where the balance is there. Okay, ones where the balance is there. Okay, so remember this, calcitonin will increase the calcium level. Epidi increase pandra? So here increase is going to happen, decrease the calcium levels. Okay, how is it going to decrease students? It will tell the calcium that is in the bloodstream and everything to be absorbed into the bones. Okay, okay, it will tell everything you absorb into the bones. Not only that, it will do mineralization of the bone. Okay, demineralization na idu vandu enna irukum? Mineralization of bone. Okay va, mineralization of bone will be happening. It will tell from the body, like calcium irukilla, you get attached to the bone. It will also tell the tissues also students, telling that if you want to utilize the calcium, you utilize the calcium. And it will also do one thing, it will also do excretion of calcium, that is it will try to remove out the calcium. Okay, remove the calcium from the body. Okay, now students, next scenario, calcium is low in the body. Okay, calcium is low in the body, then what will happen? It will activate the parathyroid gland. Okay, parathyroid gland. Students, in the parathyroid gland, when the students see, this is the thyroid gland. Okay, this is the thyroid gland. In the thyroid gland back side la vanda, okay, back side la vanda, idu madri 4p sized parathyroid glands will be present. Idu madri 4p sized parathyroid glands will be present. Now, and the parathyroid will release the PTH, parathyroid hormone, and the parathyroid hormone, when the students, it will increase calcium. It will increase the calcium. Okay, ma'am, eppadi increase pandra? By demineralization. Okay, how is it increasing, students? By demineralization of bones. Okay, and it is also going to do reabsorption of calcium also from the undigested food. Undigested food. Okay, this is the whole process. Okay, we can call this as what? We can call this as calcium homeostasis. Okay, that is basically calcium balance. So here it is high. Okay, here it is low. So these people both have to work hand in hand to make sure that the balance is maintained. Ilana calcium level adhigamagum. If calcium becomes more also, it is a problem. If calcium becomes less also, it is a problem. I hope this is understood. Yes or no? You can become hypocalcemic. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So here, just write it here only. If calcium becomes high, that will lead to osteoporosis. That is, students, basically what will happen if the calcium becomes too high in the this also, we will let's say we will give reabsorption, that also can lead to problem. Okay, and if calcium becomes too low, okay, calcium becomes too low also, it can lead to tetany, okay, rapid spasm. Okay, all these are the conditions. Next is thymus. Okay, thymus. Thymus is present in the mediastinum. So the thymus gland is a lobular structure located between the lungs, behind the sternum, on the ventral side of the aorta. The thymus plays a major role in development of the immune system. This gland secretes the peptide hormone called as thymosins. The thymosins play a major role in differentiation of the T lymphocytes, which provides cell-mediated immunity. In addition, thymosin also promotes production of antibodies to provide humoral immunity. Okay, to provide humoral immunity, that is again fluid, okay, fluid, whatever immunity. Thymus is degenerated in old individuals. Students, this is a receding gland. This is a I'm very confused when I and E comes, okay. It's a receding gland. That means it will decrease its size. Okay, decrease its size. So receding gland means it will decrease its size. Okay, so here thymus is degenerated in old individual, resulting in decreased production of thymosin. They're saying that thymosin will be degenerated in old individuals, because of it decreased of thymosin. As a result, the immune system in old people are very, very weak. This we already know, no? Yes or no? Yes, ma'am, we already know that old people will have weak immune system. Why? Because of old age. First of all, because of old age. Other than that, because of also their thymosins. Okay, because of their thymosins. Clear? Yes. Okay, nothing much. Just, I think I'll write it here only. Okay, here only. Just write about thymus. Very little is there. Location, students. Present near the mediastinum. Same place I had told the heart. I hope all of you have seen body fluids and circulation. Okay. Yes. And this will help in maturation. It will also help in maturation and differentiation. Maturation and differentiation of the lymphocytes. B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes, both are going to help for your immune system. Again, in human health and diseases, you will study that topic. Okay, you will study that topic. Clear? Why so many GM expresses there, students? One second. I think. Okay, Kanna. Let's start with adrenal gland. Okay. Yeah. So we have next is adrenal gland. In the adrenal gland, friends. So this adrenal gland is suprarenal. That means it's above the kidney. Okay. So this is where your kidney is. Okay. This is where your kidney is. And kidney just on the top. Okay. You will have the adrenal. In the adrenal gland, students, if you see a complete enlarged image of it, something like this it will look. Okay. Okay, this is how it is going to look, students. Oh no, did you hear my voice or it went? I'm so sorry. Once again, I'll repeat it. Okay, mic fell down. I didn't even notice. So, students, nama adrenal gland vandu suprarenal aayirukkum. Suprarenal means it is going to be above the kidney. In the adrenal gland, two regions are going to be present. If I take an enlarged region, this is going to be the cortex. This is going to be the medulla. Okay, cortex and medulla is going to secrete separate hormones. Clear? So, this is your adrenal cortex. And this is the medulla. This is suprarenal. Okay, this is suprarenal. So our body has one pair of adrenal gland, one above each kidney. The gland is composed of two types of tissue. Nama old NCERT la they had given instead of above they had given anterior, which is wrong. Okay, so they are composed of two types of tissues. The centrally located region is called as adrenal medulla, and then lies your adrenal cortex. Okay, under production of hormones by adrenal cortex alters the carbohydrate metabolism, causing acute weakness and fatigue, leading to a disease called as Addison's disease. So students, normally cortex, in case it does hyposecretion, that will lead to what? It will lead to acute symptoms, okay, weakness and tiredness, and also reduce the carbohydrate metabolism, which will lead to Addison's disease. Okay, now look here. The adrenal medulla will secrete two hormones. Which are the two hormones? Adrenaline or non-epinephrine. Okay, or epinephrine, or else it is called as non-adrenaline or non-epinephrine. Okay, now see here, these are commonly called as catecholamines. So whatever the adrenal medulla, okay, so adrenal, this is how you should write it in your NCERT. Okay, adrenal medulla will secrete catecholamines. Okay, this one, catecholamines, This catecholamines are how? Two of them. Okay. Adrenaline. You all get no adrenaline. We say no adrenaline, dopamine. So like that only non-adrenaline. Non-adrenaline. Okay. Now look here. Adrenaline and non-adrenaline are rapidly secreted in response to stress for any kind during the emergency. That means during fight-flight situation, these two are going to be released. That is again sympathetic. Okay. Part of the sympathetic nervous system. Okay. Nervous system. Now look here students. Rapidly secreted in response to stress of any kind during emergency situation, and they are called as what? They are called as emergency hormones or hormones of fight or flight. Okay, hormones of fight or flight. So that is why we say during fight or flight or fright. Okay, fear. These three situations also, these people are going to be released. That is why during the, when you're sitting in the exam hall also, you will start feeling that shivering, your hand will start sweating. Adu vandu idukku the reason students, fight, flight or fright the reason. Okay, these hormones increases, what do? They increases the alertness. Okay, pupillary dilation, your pupils start dilating. Piloerection, piloerection means your hair starts racing. Okay, sweating. Both the hormones increases the heartbeat. All of you would have felt, no, on May 3rd again you're going to feel your heartbeat is going to increase, and that is because of this. Okay, and the strength of heart contraction and rate of respiration. Catecholamines also stimulate the breakdown of glycogen, resulting in breakdown of what? Breakdown of glycogen. Clear? Breakdown of glycogen resulting in increased concentration of glucose in the blood. In addition, they also stimulate the breakdown of lipids and proteins. Also helps in the breakdown of lipids and proteins. So basically here what are they saying? They're saying that they will help in the breakdown of glycogen. Okay. Lipids and proteins. In the glycogen one, the breakdown, students, it is going to become glucose. Okay. Now here coming to the major part, you can open your NCERT in case this is not very visible. The adrenal cortex is divided into three layers. First one is called as zona reticularis, inner layer. Then we have zona fasciculata, which is the middle layer. Then we have zona glomerulosa, which is the outer layer. The adrenal cortex secretes many hormones commonly called as what, students? Corticoids. Okay, commonly called as what? Corticoids. So basically there are three layers to your adrenal cortex. Okay, this is the first layer, which is zona. What are they saying? Reticularis. You can also call it as okay, reticularis, which is the outer layer, which can also be called as zona glomerularis. Okay, then we will have a middle region. I'm just giving different texture to the layers. Okay, this is the middle region. Middle region is what? It is called as zona fasciculata. Okay, it's called as zona fasciculata. Okay, each of the portions are going to do different secretion. That is why we are learning about it. Then we have the last layer. Okay, which is going to be what? Zona glomerulosa. Okay, zona glomerulosa. By mistake, I told reticularis. Sorry, zona reticularis, zona fasciculata, zona glomerulosa. Okay, cannot be called as glomerulosa. Zona glomerulosa is the down layer. Okay, so here, students, you have this is the outer layer. This is what I wanted to say. Okay, this is the outer layer. Okay, this is the middle layer. This is the inner layer. This is the inner layer. So you have glomerulosa, which is the outer layer, then you have the inner layer, middle layer, then you have the inner layer. The corticoids which are involved in carbohydrate metabolism. okay, are called as glucocorticoids. In our body, cortisol is the main glucocorticoid. Corticoid which regulate the balance of water and electrolytes in our body are called as mineralocorticoids. Okay, so you have what? Glucocorticoids. So first you have zona glomerulosa. Remember this? Okay, wait. Shall I read the whole NCERT then write the box? I think that will be better. Okay. We'll start from the first layer, glomerulosa, outermost layer, okay. Fasciculata. Zona reticularis, okay. So here you see, students, what is happening. In our body, cortisol is the main glucocorticoid. Corticoids which regulate balance is called as mineralocorticoids. Aldosterone is the main mineralocorticoid. Okay, aldosterone is the main mineralocorticoid. And here you should understand one thing. Glucocorticoids stimulate glyconeogenesis. Glucocorticoids will stimulate what? Glyconeogenesis. Who? Glucocorticoid. Lipolysis, proteolysis. So they do what? Lipolysis and proteolysis, and they inhibit the cellular uptake. They inhibit the cellular uptake and utilization of amino acid. Cortisol is also involved. Cortisol is also involved in maintaining the cardiovascular systems as well as the kidney functions. Glucocorticoids, particularly your cortisol, okay, cortisol will produce anti-inflammatory responses, okay, anti-inflammatory reactions and suppresses the immune response. Next is cortisol stimulates the RBC production. Aldosterone acts mainly at the renal tubules. So one by one I will write. Is it better for all of you? I think this will become a little confusing for all of you. So here, students, we will start from zona glomerulosa. Zona glomerulosa, this region will be secreting your mineralocorticoids. Mineralocorticoids. What will mineralocorticoids do? Mineralocorticoids are the ones which will be, again, here the aldosterone will be there. Okay, stimulate the, we have learned, no, remember RAS mechanism, we heard that adrenal cortex has to be stimulated and automatically aldosterone will be released. So here aldosterone is going to help in RAS mechanism. Okay, RAS mechanism. And here what is going to happen, students? This will lead to reabsorption or conditional reabsorption. This will lead to, wait. Conditional reabsorption of sodium and water. Yes, this is the job of these people. Yes, ma'am, correct. These people are going to do that. Okay, mainly reabsorption of sodium, even water they can reabsorb. Okay. Then we have here, students, your zona fasciculata, which is the middle layer, right? Which is the middle layer. This is going to give out the glucocorticoids. Under glucocorticoids, which and all are they saying? Cortisol, they are saying. Okay, cortisol face, cortisol belly, have you heard? Huh? Cortisol face, cortisol belly, like that only. Your cortisol. Okay, cortisol. This cortisol also, students, related to stress as well. At the same time, this is also will be released, right? This will also be released during pregnancy as well. Okay, clear? So cortisol. Here, see, here in NCERT, here they have mentioned, can you see? Glucocorticoids stimulate gluconeogenesis, lipolysis and proteolysis and inhibit the cellular uptake. Cortisol is also involved in maintaining the cardiovascular system as well as the kidney functioning. Glucocorticoids, particularly your cortisol, produces anti-inflammatory reaction and suppresses the immune response. They also stimulate the RBC production. Aldosterone, this we already understood. Thus, aldosterone helps in maintenance of the electrolyte, body fluid, osmotic pressure, blood pressure. Small amounts of androgenic steroids are also secreted by the adrenal cortex, which play an important role in axial hair, pubic hair and facial hair during the puberty. So here this entire paragraph is very important for all of you. Okay, very important for all of you. Make sure that you are just revising it very well, and this chapter itself, I told you, multiple revisions only is going to help you. Multiple revisions only is going to help you. So cortisone. So students, here mainly stress is on cortisol. So what does cortisol do? They help in they have anti-inflammatory functions. Okay, anti-inflammatory functions. They are going to do I think I'll have to write it. See, when I say neogenesis, that means we are forming something new. Okay, neo means we are forming something. So when I'm saying glyconeogenesis, you should understand we are breaking it down to produce the glucose. Okay, we are increasing the glucose level. Glyconeogenesis. Okay, glyconeogenesis. Clear? Spelling is wrong. Gluconeogenesis. Yeah, gluconeogenesis, where we are producing more glucose. Okay, then we have glycogenolysis. Okay, glycogenolysis. Lysis means what, students? Ma'am, breakdown, ma'am. Correct, breakdown. So whom am I breaking down here? I am breaking down the glycogen to produce the glucose. So breakdown will happen. Okay, breakdown will happen. Other than that, whatever function is mentioned in NCERT also you have to study. There is no excuse for that. Okay, they are going to be anti-inflammatory. At the same time, they are also going to have cardiac functions. Okay, cardiovascular functions. Okay, cardiovascular. Here also, students, maintains osmotic pressure, blood pressure. All this is the function. Okay, all this is the function. The last is here. See, now we have studied mineralocorticoids, glucocorticoids. You can also use VAID and you can make your own flowchart as well. Next is sex corticoids. So here only you can understand, ma'am, this has something to do with androgen. Correct or not? Right, this has something to do with androgen. You are right. This has something to do with androgens. Okay, this has something to do with androgens. Clear? Okay, so androgens will be secreted only. Ma'am, what about estrogens? Yes, they will also be secreted. Okay, they will be secreted. Now remember that these people are going to have slight function, that is some sexual characteristics during puberty, as mentioned right in the below. Okay, okay, puberty, some characters whichever has been mentioned, that also you have to remember. Clear? Yes. Okay, so this is the main thing. You can also write a flowchart and study this actually. Okay, you can write everything whatever is written here as well as here. This is easy, you know. Your adrenaline and non-adrenaline, nothing is there, but here only corticoids, glucocorticoids, that one, many students get confused. Okay, many students get confused. Otherwise, it is super duper easy. Okay, here, yes or no? Understood, right? Okay, let's drink some water. Understood? Yeah. Okay, so here Students, if this is confusing, we can write it on the top as well. But just remember this much. Okay. Remember that this fellow, whatever the cortex is going to release, we are going to call it as, corticoids. Okay. Corticoids. That's why you have glucocorticoids, mineralocorticoids and sex corticoids. Okay, this you must remember. Next is going to be pancreas, students. Pancreas, if I have to say, I have drawn and showed you in your animal tissues as well. Yes or no? Yes, ma'am, you have already shown us. Okay, like this I had drawn and showed you last time. Now here, students, remember in the pancreas there is going to be a group of cells. Okay, there is going to be a group of cells, and this group of cells are called as what? Islets of Langerhans. This group of cells are called as what? Islets of Langerhans. Islets of Langerhans. Since these islets of Langerhans are going to give out 3 cells. Now, ma'am, what about, why are we calling this fellow heterocrine? Remember, students, we are calling it a heterocrine or a mixed gland. Okay, or a mixed gland, because this has both exocrine activity and endocrine activity. It has both exocrine and endocrine activity. Exocrine activity is done by your acinar cells. Okay. Okay, with your acinar cells, this is the exocrine part of the gland and this is the endocrine part of the gland. Okay, endocrine part of the gland. So, endo and exo. Understood, no? Now, I told you this endocrine glands are going to give out 3 cells. Okay. Alpha, beta and delta cells. Okay. Alpha cells glucagon, beta cells insulin and delta cells somatostatin. So, here you see what is written here. Pancreas is, one second, let me see if I can increase. Okay. You can see, right? Friends, pancreas is a composite gland which act both as exocrine and endocrine gland. The endocrine pancreas consists of islets of Langerhans. They are about how much? 1 to 2 millions of islets of Langerhans in a normal human pancreas. Okay, normal human pancreas, representing only 1 to 2% of the pancreatic tissues. The 2 main types of cells in islets of Langerhans are going to be alpha cells and beta cells. The alpha cells secrete an hormone called glucagon, which will increase the glucose level, hyperglycemic, and we have insulin, which will decrease the glucose level. Okay, otherwise, students, again, homeostasis has to happen, balance has to happen, balance has to be maintained. Okay, glucagon is a peptide hormone and plays an important role in maintaining the normal blood glucose level. Glucagon acts mainly on the liver cell, that is a hepatocyte cell, and it will stimulate what? Glycogenolysis. What it will do? Glycogenolysis, which will lead to hyperglycemia in your body. That is, sugar levels will increase. In addition to it, students, this insulin also process of glyconeogenesis, which also contributes to hyperglycemia. Okay, hyperglycemia. Now, glucagon reduces the cellular glucose uptake and utilization. Thus, glucagon is a hyperglycemic hormone. Insulin is a peptide hormone which plays a major role, and insulin acts on hepatocytes and adipocytes, cells of the adipose tissue. I have already taught you. Again, students, what will these people do? I'll tell you here basically. Just look here and try and understand. Pancreas, okay, pancreas are heterocrine. This I just now told you. Okay, heterocrine. Now, students, please try and understand. Main cells are going to be alpha cells, okay, and beta cells. alpha cells and beta cells. Alpha cells you have, okay, now here remember one thing students, glucagon, okay, glucagon, this fellow's main job is going to be, it is a hyperglycemic hormone. That means its main job in the body is to increase the sugar level. Increase the sugar level. Okay, now how do they increase the sugar level, students? Imagine there are cells in the nearby, okay? There are cells in the nearby who wants glucose or something like that. The glucose will not be given to them. Okay, glucose, wait, I'll write this in white. This is the glucose. Okay, cellular intake will not happen. Cellular intake will not happen. They will not allow the cells to take any glucose. Okay, they will not allow the cells to take any glucose. Plus, students, what do they do other than this? They also do glycogenolysis. That is, they break down the glycogen stored form into glucose. They also do gluconeogenesis. That means they form new glucose as well. So this way what will happen, students? You should remember that the glucose level is going to increase. Okay, glucose level is going to increase. Now comes your beta cell. Now comes your beta cell. Beta cell, here you have insulin. We all know that when a person has diabetes mellitus, we tell them, please take insulin. Please take insulin injections. Okay, insulin injections vanda mukyamana oru injection, like in the sense it is to decrease the glucose level, because we know diabetes mellitus is caused because of the glucose level. So adanala we tell them that you have to take insulin injections. Correct. Now in the insulin, students, one more thing here I'll mention. These people are going to work. Okay, they are going to attack the hepatocyte cells. Okay, they are going to attack what? Hepatocyte cells, which is the liver cells. Okay, which is the liver cells, hepatocyte cells. Okay, here insulin is going to attack which cells? They are going to attack the hepatocytes as well as the adipocytes. Now look here. Try and understand. This insulin is the one, students, who is going to decrease the glucose level. Okay, it is going to decrease the glucose level. That means what? They will decrease the glucose level means what, students? They will lead to glycogenesis. That means they will allow the formation of glucose to glycogen, or tell that you keep stored. Okay, you store and keep. And also if there are cells, okay, there are cells around these people, okay, cellular intake will happen. So this is what insulin is going to do. Understood this one? Okay. Now students, remember, if the person has deficiency, if the person's body has deficiency of insulin, insulin is there, then the person will have diabetes mellitus. Okay, diabetes mellitus. Okay, diabetes mellitus. Okay, understood this much? One more cell is there, that is your delta cell. Delta cell also is your somatostatin. Okay, somatostanins. Understood? Yes, they will inhibit both insulin and glucagon. If you want, you can remember this. I hope this is understood, clear to all of you. Okay. Yeah. This is your pancreas. Now, we'll just read through this, students. Look here. As a result, there is a rapid movement of glucose from blood to the hepatocytes and adipocytes, resulting in decreased blood glucose, that is hypoglycemia. Insulin also stimulates the conversion of glucose to glycogen, that is glycogenesis, to the target organ. The glucose homeostasis in blood is maintained by insulin and glucagon. Okay. Now, 1 second, have I written the spelling wrong here? Yeah. Students, here it is U, okay. When we write glycogen, glucagon, we get spelling here. Okay, glucagon. Now look here. Prolonged hyperglycemia lead to a complex disorder, which is your diabetes mellitus, which is associated with the loss of glucose through urine and formation of harmful compounds like ketone bodies, which you call it ketonuria, which you have already studied in you have studied in excretion chapter. Okay, diabetes patients are successfully treated with insulin therapy, again, which you will be studying in your biotechnology chapter, where you will make humulin. Okay, where you will form humulin, that is actually formed by the Eli Lilly company. Eli Lilly company was the people who found the humulin. So, students, the insulin diagram is something like this, where you have a chain. Most of you might have learned biotechnology. And then you have a B chain. Okay. And this A chain and B chain are connected with the help of disulfide bonds. Okay. Just like how you have it in your antibodies. Disulfide bond. And then your A chain is connected to the B chain with the help of a C chain. Okay, this is the insulin diagram, and a humulin in the C synthesis will not be there. Okay, C synthesis will not be there. Clear? Now look here. Testis. Okay, a pair of testes is present in the scrotal sac outside the abdomen of the male individual. Testis performs dual function as a primary sex organ as well as an endocrine gland. Testis is composed of seminiferous tubules and stromal. This also we have studied. No, all of you remember this? Yes or no? Okay, just recently only we studied, right? We have, okay, this. Okay, this is the cells, right? These are the cells, and then I'm just drawing it like this very randomly. Diagram, detailed structure already I have taught you, okay, like this. So, which are the cells, students? These are your spermatogonia cells, right? Spermatogonia cells, these are your Sertoli cells, okay. And in the interstitial space, there are going to be cells which are called as your Leydig cells or interstitial cells. Okay, Leydig cells or interstitial cells. So, the Leydig cells or interstitial cells which are present in the intertubular produces a group of okay, a group of hormones called androgen, mainly the testosterone. We know, no, Leydig cells are releasing testosterone, and that testosterone concentration happens with the help of ABP right at the center. Androgen regulates the development, maturation and the function of male accessory sex organ like your epididymis, vas deferens, seminal vesicle, prostate gland, urethral gland, etc. These hormones stimulate muscular growth, growth of facial hair, axillary hair, aggressiveness, low pitch. Androgens also play an important or major role in the process of spermatogenesis. This also we have already learned, yes or no? Again, we don't have to go detail into this because in reproduction chapter we have already studied this. Okay. Next one is students, ovary. Females have a pair of ovaries. Okay, it has a pair of ovaries in the abdomen. Ovary is the primary sex organ which produces one ovum during each menstrual cycle. In addition, students, there are ovarian hormones. Always remember this. There are ovarian hormones. Okay, ovarian hormones. Right. Ovarian hormones are your estrogen and progesterone. Ovarian hormones, right? So, the in ovary also produces two groups of steroid hormones, estrogen and progesterone. Ovary is composed of ovarian follicles and stromal tissues. The estrogen is synthesized and secreted mainly by the growing follicles. After ovulation, the ruptured follicle will be converted to corpus luteum, and then corpus luteum is going to increase the progesterone level. If all of you remember the graph, you remember like this. This is your FSH. Okay, when FSH is like that, you should remember that your estrogen is increasing here because the follicles are secreting it, right? And then we have your LH. Okay, LH is there, and then you have your progesterone. Okay, progesterone also, it's going to have a peak like this. I mean, peak became too yo-yo. Okay, your progesterone will have a peak like this during pregnancy. This graph all of you remember, right? This graph all of you remember, no? This is your LH, okay? This is your progesterone during corpus luteum release, and this is your estrogen. Almost it will have a graph here. Okay, why? Because the follicles are going to release, follicles are going to tell. First, follicles are going to give positive mechanism, adukapra adu vandu negative mechanism kudupanga. Okay. Progesterone also, students, supports pregnancy. Progesterone also acts on mammary glands and stimulates the formation of alveoli and the milk secretion. Okay, milk secretion. This is clear, right? This is the main portion here. Next one, the students, hormones. Here hormones of heart, kidney and gastrointestinal tract is there. This we are going to do next. Okay, done? Yes, Pasingla. Okay, almost coming to an end of the topic. Hormones of heart, kidney and gastrointestinal tract. In case it is visible, please open your NCERT and check it. Okay, now you know about the endocrine glands and their hormones. However, as mentioned, hormones are also secreted by some tissues which are not endocrine glands. For example, the atrial walls of the heart. Number one, the excretion chapter, atrial walls of the heart will release atrial natriuretic factor, which works opposite to RAS mechanism. Yena ma'am, RAS mechanism, renin will be released whenever our GFR, blood volume or the sodium levels are low or BP is low. The RAS mechanism will work in hand. Where renin will be released, it will convert angiotensinogen to angiotensin 1 and angiotensin 2. Okay, continuous talking has made my tongue twist. For example, the atrial walls of the heart secretes a very important hormone called as atrial natriuretic factor, which decreases the blood pressure when the blood pressure is increased. So when the blood pressure is high, ANF will work opposite to RAS mechanism. So RAS mechanism job when the GFR increase pandrathu, blood volume increase pandrathu. So adukku opposite badala என்ன பண்றாங்க, அவரு வந்து the blood pressure வந்து decrease பண்றாங்க. When blood pressure is increased, ANF is secreted, which causes dilation of the blood vessels. This reduces the blood pressure. So what is happening, students? Let's just write it here. So we have heart. Okay, sorry. Okay, heart is there. In the heart it is releasing atrial natriuretic factor. Okay, atrial natriuretic factor. Ilena, you can also write ANF in the box. Okay, what is this going to do, students? It is going to decrease the blood pressure when it is high. And just write it is antagonistic to RAS mechanism. Antagonistic now opposite. Okay, so it is working opposite to RAS mechanism. Okay, opposite to RAS. So how do they do this, students? Normally nama blood vessel vandu, let's say it is a little constricted. Okay, so in the blood vessel la vandu pressure adhigama irukum. So idu vandu enna pandranga, avaru vandu vasodilation panni in the blood vessel surface area increase panni, so automatically pressure vandu kammi agum. Okay, pressure vandu automatically kammi agum. Okay, done. Next one. The juxtaglomerular cells of the kidney produces a peptide hormone called as erythropoietin, which will stimulate erythropoiesis, formation of RBC. This also I've told you in excretion chapter. JG cells, and the JG cells when it releases erythropoietin, and the erythropoietin when helps in erythropoiesis, which is basically formation of RBC. Okay, wow. Now here you see, students, endocrine cells present in different parts of the gastrointestinal tract secrete 4 major peptide hormones, which are called as gastrin, secretin, 𝐂𝐸𝐴 and your gastric inhibitory peptide. Gastrin acts on, so this one the, wait, I'll just write here also JG cells. JG cells will release Okay, I hope all of you marked your attendance. Okay, this was the chapter that you people are asking so many times. So I want to see how much response is going to come. Okay, erythropoiesis, which is formation of RBC. Okay, formation of RBC. Got it? Erythropoiesis. Now let's just duplicate this. Okay, and let's just write about the gastric enzymes. Yes. Okay, so look here, students. We have 4 main peptide hormones. Peptide now what? Protein, right? So we have 4 main peptide hormones. So in the peptide hormones, you have first one, your gastrin. What is it? Gastrin. Okay, then you have secretin, then you have choleocytokinins, CCK, then you have GIP. Okay, these are the ones. Okay, sorry, GIP. Okay, yeah. Now, gastrin acts on gastric glands and they stimulate the secretion of HCl and pepsinogen. Secretin will act on the exocrine part of the pancreas and stimulate the secretion of water and bicarbonate ions. Okay, so gastrin vandu enna pandranga, students? Avaru vandu mainly nama HCl and pepsinogen release kaga. Okay, pepsinogen releasing. Okay, so HCl and pepsinogen releasing is the main, or let's say stimulating. Okay, so idu vandu stimulating hormone illana releasing hormone nu koopidla. Okay, it will do stimulating. HCl and pepsinogen. Okay, you understood, no? Here I am not writing again. Okay, it will become too complicated. Okay, adhikapuram, students, you have secretin, which will act on the exocrine part. Okay, it will act on the exocrine part of the pancreas, that is your acina cells. And idu vandu enna pandranga, they are telling that okay, you secrete or you stimulate the secretion. Okay, ellame stimulation tha, stimulate secretion of water and bicarbonate. Okay, stimulate the secretion of water and bicarbonate. CCK acts on pancreas and gallbladder and stimulates the secretion of pancreatic enzyme and bile juice. So CCK vandu enna pandranga, students? It acts on both pancreas as well as gallbladder and stimulate the secretion of pancreatic enzymes and bile juice respectively. So here this fellow is going to do the job of, I don't think we can write. Okay, pancreatic juices. Okay, pancreatic juices plus, okay, pancreatic enzymes plus bile juice, okay, and GIP inhibits the gastric secretion. So இது வந்து inhibiting in nature, and this is stimulating in nature. So it will inhibit the gastric secretion and motility. Several other non-endocrine tissues also secrete hormones which are called as growth factors. These factors are essential for the normal growth. In the growth factors வந்து directly வந்து tissues மேலே இல்லைன்னா cells மேலே வந்து it is going to attack. Okay, understood this very clearly? Yes or no? Good. Yes. Okay. Students, secretin can also do one thing. Secretin can also inhibit the secretions as well. So இது வந்து releasing behave பண்ணலாம், secreting behave பண்ணலாம். Even secretin can inhibit the bile secretions here. Okay. Add on point I am writing. இது வந்து promote பண்றாங்க, இது வந்து inhibit பண்றாங்க. GABA also again inhibiting in nature. Okay, it inhibits the gastric secretions. Students, this question has come majority of the times as PYQ, so adanala idu vandu romba important, because here PYQ will come and this will be a 4-mark question. So adanala make sure that you are studying this. Eppadi ma'am இந்த question கேட்பாங்க, அவர் வந்து match the following இல்லைன்னா match the column மாதிரி தான் இந்த question கேட்பாங்க. So அதனால gastrin என்ன பண்றது, secretin என்ன பண்றது, CCK என்ன பண்றது, அது எல்லாமே கரெக்டாக புரிஞ்சிக்கணும், இல்லைன்னா you will not be able to root the match the following. ஓகேவா? Understood this? Let's go to next the hormones. Okay, அதுதான் நம்ம last portion of this whole thing. Okay, இப்போ students நம்ம hormones வந்து 4 categoryல divide பண்ணலாம். First is called as peptide, polypeptide or protein hormones, insulin, glucagon, pituitary hormones, hypothalamic hormones. இதுதான் நம்ம first set of hormones. Okay, அதுக்கப்புறம் நம்ம steroid hormones like cortisol, testosterone, estradiol and progesterone. Next வந்து iodothyronins, like you already know it is a thyroid hormones. Okay, then we have amino acid derivatives like your epinephrine. So இதுதான் நம்ம category of hormones. இந்த category of hormonesல main என்னன்னா students, hormones வந்து 2 types இருக்கும். One is called as lipid soluble, இன்னொன்று வந்து lipid insoluble. Lipid soluble னா என்ன, நம்ம cortisols மாதிரி, நம்ம steroid hormones மாதிரி, because அது வந்து already derivatives அல்வா, derivatives. Okay, so அதனால அது வந்து enter பண்றதுக்கு it will be easy, because நம்ம membrane வந்துட்டு bilipid layer. So when the membrane is bilipid layer, lipid it has to have the liking, otherwise lipid is not going to allow the enter. So lipid soluble people will be able to directly enter. Ana lipid insoluble வந்து it will use a secondary messenger. Imagine I cannot enter a place. Okay, imagine students, நான் வந்து I want to enter into Red Fort. Okay, இல்லைனா I want to enter into PM's cabin. Okay, Prime Minister's cabin. எனக்கு வந்து directly enter பண்ண வாய்ப்பு கிடையாது, because I am not very famous or like I am not in that reputation. அதனால நான் வந்து ஒரு செகண்டரி மெசேஞ்சர் யூஸ் பண்ணி தான் பிஎம் கிட்ட அந்த மெசேஜ் வந்து அனுப்பணும். பட் ஆனால் லெட்ஸ் சே எனக்கு வந்து கனெக்ஷன்ஸ் இருக்கு, நான் வந்து ஆல்ரெடி லைக் சிஎம் பொண்ணு அதை இதுன்னு சொல்லிட்டா ஐ கேன் டைரக்ட்லி கெட் இன் சைட், ரைட்? ஓகே, ஐ மீன் லைக் லெட்ஸ் சே ஐ எம் சிஎம்ஸ் டாட்டர் ஆர் மேபி நாட் ஈவன் சிஎம்ஸ் டாட்டர், எனி அதர் பொசிஷன் அது மாதிரி. ஓகே, ஆர் an ஐஏஎஸ் ஆஃபீஸர், ஐபிஎஸ் ஆஃபீஸர், ஸோ ஐ கேன் டைரக்ட்லி என்டர் இன் டு த பிஎம்ஸ் ஆஃபீஸ். அது மாதிரி தான். ஸோ லிபிட் சால்யூபிள் லேயர்னா இட் கேன் டைரக்ட்லி என்டர் இன் டு த membrane and form the hormonal receptor and the complex பண்ணலாம். இல்லைன்னா நான் வந்து ஒரு secondary messenger கிட்ட அந்த மெசேஜ் வந்து அனுப்பி அந்த secondary messenger will go and do the physiological process. You will understand it, don't worry. So basically you should understand what this is called as mechanism of hormones. Hormones. Okay. I hope it's a straight line. Straight line, na students? Almost. Okay, in the light, reflect agadu. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I told you 2 types are there. First one is called as lipid soluble, okay, who has the permission to enter inside, okay, lipid insoluble. Notes will be available in the description box, okay. You can download all the notes from the description box. Okay, but lipid soluble na enna ma'am? Lipid soluble means the ones who can enter inside, okay. Example, your iodothyronins, okay. Like enna students? Nama T3 and T4. Correct thane? Nama T3 and T4, okay. Adukapra nama steroids. Okay, steroids, cortisol, androgens, ellame idudha, okay, everything will come here, testosterone, estrogen, adellame will come here. So, this one directly it can enter inside. So, how will it happen students? Normally, nama enzyme, okay, machinery, it's going to be like this, okay. Okay. Now just imagine any of it, okay, any of the enzyme wants to enter inside, okay, this is your hormone, okay, this is nama hormone. In the hormone students has to enter inside, na, this one directly it will go inside. Yes ma'am, it will directly go inside, it will wait for a receptor will be waiting. So students, okay, this is the receptor. So hormone one it can enter through the lipid layer, so it will just go like this, it will bind with the hormone receptor complex and adukapram automatically it can start the physiological response. Yes ma'am, so now it will enter into the cell as well, right? Now this fellow won't stop, it will enter into the nucleus, right? It has to enter inside. So inga vanda nama genetic material present aayirukkum students. Okay, another color I'll draw. Okay, so okay, so look here, now it has entered inside, okay, it has entered inside, and students, because it entered inside, okay, remember it, since it entered inside, wait 1 second, okay, smaller draw panla, okay, it has entered inside. Now since it has entered inside, it can change everything, yes or no, DNA alteration, any changes it want to do, it will be able to do, okay, any changes it wants to do, it will be able to do. So remember, this is your hormone receptor complex, and either hormone receptor complex, okay. Now students, depending on which hormone is entering, it can change the different physiological functions. So just remember, they can do DNA alteration, okay, okay. Now let's say progesterone has entered, okay, it wants to thicken the endometrium lining, enname panla, but ana directly vanda it is going to enter inside, okay, directly vanda it's going to enter inside. I'll show you the diagram given in NCERT. Okay, this is the diagram. So look here, hormone is estrogen. This one the bilipid layer cross panni directly it has entered into the cell. Hormone receptor complex, and see, nucleus is there, genome is there, mRNA to protein. Protein will do the physiological response like tissue growth and differentiation. So this is the main students. It will directly enter. Okay, it can pass or cross the bilipid layer. Okay, it can pass and cross the bilipid layer. So adinala directly வந்து cross பண்ணி அந்த physiological changes பண்ண முடியும். Okay, ஆனா இங்க இந்த situationல வந்து students, here this you understood, no? Now lipid soluble na your iodothyroids or steroid, they can directly enter. So இங்க வந்து நம்ம bilipid layers present இருக்குமே. Yes ma'am, here the bilipid layers are going to be present. In the bilipid layers cross பண்ணணும். Okay, so here also remember இது மாதிரி இருக்கும். Okay, now my diagram is not the best diagram. So இது மாதிரி bilipid layers are going to be present. In the bilipid layers cross பண்ணி it will directly enter inside hormone receptor complex and it is going to do the changes. இப்போ example இங்க வந்து estrogen இருந்தேனா, here the physiological changes are going to happen and this will lead to, let's say, tissue differentiation or the growth. Okay, now ma'am, what about lipid insoluble ones? Okay, lipid insoluble one la students situation konjam different ஆயிருக்கும் because இதுக்கு வந்து directly permission கிடையாது to enter into the nucleus. So அதனால அவர் வந்து secondary messenger use பண்ணி தான் directly it can, you know, talk or do anything. So இங்க வந்து lipid insoluble layers na you have your catecholamines and examples. Okay, so many examples are there. Okay, adrenaline, non-adrenaline, okay, all these people, catecholamines will come into place. Other than that, nama growth hormone, nama insulin, FSH, LH, adellame. Okay, okay, these are basically students, these are water. Okay, water soluble ones. This will not be lipid insoluble, right? So adanala idu vandu problem irukku, but ana see they also have a solution for it. They also have a solution for it. Enna ma'am solution? So just look here. Okay, draw a box like this. Ipo hormone vandu, let's say students, FSH vandu it's waiting outside. Okay, idu dhaan namma. Okay, wait, I'll draw it in different colors. Then you will get confused. Okay, this is our hormone FSH. Okay, wow. In the FSH one, it has to now enter, but Anna, it cannot enter, right? It cannot enter. It will be like, bro, I cannot enter. So adinala here there will be receptors. Okay, there will be receptors present on the membrane. Okay, receptors வந்து எங்க present ஆயிருக்கும் students, membraneல present ஆயிருக்கும். So இது வந்து இங்க போய் join ஆகும். Okay, because of this joining we will understand that okay, we need some work to be done. So in the membrane bound, these are actually membrane bound receptors. In the receptors one, directly it will send the signal to our secondary messengers. Okay, secondary messengers. Secondary messenger students, actually many secondary messengers are there. In yours you have CAMP, CGMP, iodine, calcium, okay, inositol, not iodine, sorry, inositol. So in the secondary messengers one, the message வந்து அனுப்புறாங்க. So இங்க வந்து you can take CAMP, okay, CAMP, CGMP, இதெல்லாமே example தான். Secondary messengers are now going to make the physiological changes. So இங்க physiological responses varum, or we can say biochemical reaction first, then later see, when I cannot enter inside students, what do? I use the help of a person and I will make sure that the work gets done. Correct alla? Correct dane? So I will take a help of another person telling that I cannot enter inside, bro, you please do something, and this will go one after the other. Okay, one after the other. So idu da nama secondary messengers, because I cannot directly enter inside. Okay, enakku vandu and opportunity kediyada to directly enter inside. So adanal lipid insolubles vandu students, they are membrane bound receptors. Membrane bound receptors. Okay, that one important. They'll ask you membrane bound. Okay, this will be cytoplasmic receptors, or we can say nuclear receptors. So here Okay, va? Understood this? Okay, let's go through the NCERT as well once. Okay, and the diagram paakalam students first. So in the diagram just focus here. This is our hormone. Hormone vanda it is getting membrane. Okay, this is membrane bound. Okay. Okay. Membrane bound receptors. First one, the response one, students, see here, generation of the secondary messenger, cyclic AMP or your calcium, and it will lead to a biochemical response, Elena reaction, and then a physiological response that leads to ovarian growth because FSH was the one that was released. So, inga one the secondary messengers one the rumba important. Some of the secondary messengers that you have to remember. Cyclic AMP. Okay, another cyclic AMP. C one the smaller, but you should write, and then adukapram AMP you should write. Cyclic AMP. Okay. Then students, importantly given in your NCERT, calcium ions. Okay. Then you should know ionositol. Okay, ionositol. So, idellame secondary structures only. Okay, okay, clear? You can write this as IP3. Okay, IP3. These are the important secondary messengers that you have to remember. Okay, diacetyl glycerol is there. Okay, you can write that as well. Diacetyl glycerol also you can write it. Clear? Okay. This is the whole thing. This is very, very important. Okay, very, very important. Make sure that you are remembering all this. Okay, so these are our hormonal, okay, structures. This also you people have understood. Okay, solve some questions quickly. Oxytocin helps in ovulation, lactation, but not childbirth. Childbirth, but not lactation. Lactation, childbirth, both. Okay, you will get 10 seconds. Quickly do it. இங்க வந்து எங்கேயோ டைமர் இருக்கு ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ். தென் அது இது மூவிங் டூல்ஸ்ல இருக்கு. Hmm. 10 seconds timer is there. Quickly. Why is it not moving? Okay, done. So the answer is going to be what? Okay, answer is going to be option number 4. Okay, option number 4. Next question. The secondary sexual characters develop in females because of secondary sexual characters in females because of estrogen, androgen, absence of androgen, absence of estrogen. Okay, let's put timer again. Timer. So, you will know how much time you are taking to solve one question. Okay, you will know how much time you are taking to solve one question. Clear? Done? 30 seconds you took. Students, obviously it has to be because of estrogen, right? Estrogen. Okay. Now listen, yesterday I have launched the test series for all of you, which I was taking a track of from past 7 days. So in case any of you have not, I know many of you did not get the free test series because free test series was given only for the 25 students who put the code very fast. Now students, please understand the offline, okay, and the offline plus online test series. What do I mean by offline? You don't have to go to the offline center and write it. You are going to get the OMR sheet, plus the 20 part test plus that 3600 PYQs, right? This 20 part test will have 3600 PYQs. In the ellame you are going to get it at your home, okay? Or the box la vanda deliver agum home la with the solutions. Okay, with the solutions, and only for We Need Tamil Nadu students nama vanda price so the initial price when we just initiated it, it was around 1300. Ana ipo vanda we are giving it at 199 in all the stores, but just for my We Need Tamil Nadu students, we have striked out this price and made it just half. Okay, so we have made it 1000 rupees. Okay, 1000 rupees. You will get it delivered at your home, and trust me, it is one of the best test series. And students, if you are buying this test series, with this test series, you are also going to get VED. Okay, you are going to get VED AIs, all the features that is not applicable on YouTube. YouTube la vandu only lecture lengths the free irukku, but ana VED AI in the test series, with the test series, you are also going to get VED AI. Adula vandu best feature enna score booster. Score booster la, imagine you're stuck always at 300 or 350 in your mock test or in the test paper that I've given you also. VED will tell you where you're going wrong, why you're going wrong, and the online test attend panni aganam. Score booster la vanda it is going to tell you, and it is also going to tell you which are the easy kill questions, okay? Which are the easy kill questions, which are the easy attemptable question, adu madri ella it is going to give you, okay? Next question vandu, which of the following glands secrete hormone called as melatonin? Yes, melatonin. Okay, don't get confused, melatonin they have asked. Okay, melanin, melatonin, everything is different. Melanin vandu nama pigmentation kaga, melatonin vandu okay, link enge irukum ma'am in the description box. Okay, link description box la irukum. In the test series link vanda yesterday's live you can go check, biggest surprise and the live la irukum. Okay, answer is going to be your pineal gland. Okay, so students, we have finished the chapter. Okay, in the chapter vanda Katham. Okay, this got over. So I hope you all understood everything in the chapter, and if you're new to the channel, please make sure that you subscribe and leave, and also quickly smash the like button and let me know in the comments how much you loved the chapter, because you people have been crying and asking me chemical coordination. So chemical coordination is done, only neural control and chemical coordination and integration is done, neural control and coordination has to be done. Then we are done with human physiology. Breathing is done, locomotion is done, excretion is done, body fluids is done, neural control and coordination, chemical coordination, human physiology done. Human physiology one the high weightage topic da, and also if you are an MBBS student, it will be a shame to tell that no, I want to skip human physiology, because then what are you going to study in MBBS? So adanala make sure that you're studying this chapter, even if weightage is there, even if weightage is not there, doesn't matter. You have to know this chapter as a foundation for your MBBS. Okay, so adanala focus on the chapter, focus on how much I can build myself in the foundation time. Okay, so students, see you all in the next class. I hope all of you enjoyed the class. Doubt in the, please comments you can let me know, and Elena, quickly smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, make sure that we are going to the next milestone of 12k. Adu madre nama vanda 1000 students na add panniye aganam. So share it with 5 of your friends. Nothing is going to be lost for you, and so much is going to come in gain for you. Okay, and people who did not get the free test series, don't worry, something or the other will always come for you. I will make sure that all of you get it. And yes, thank you so much for being in the class. See you all in the next class. Till then, take care. Bye bye.